Yes, y'all! From the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center in beautiful San Antonio, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, live from the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention, presented by our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission. I'm Greg Tepper, Editor-in-Chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com, alongside the guru, the king of coaching school. If we can get his mic. Yeah, oh yeah.
Is that
the
me?
king of coaching school?
No.
The czar of coaching school. It starts with a C. It's Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football High School Football Insider. Matthew, we're here.
We are here. It's busy. It's busy at the Dave Campbell's booth. We're rocking and rolling. It's always a fun. One of my favorite weekends of the year. It's a lot of fun.
And we've got, by the way, the return of Ashley Pickle on the board. Ashley Pickle is rolling on the board. Hi, Pickle.
Hi. I don't have a camera, but I am here.
That's good.
She is here.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's good.
And
no one needs to see this.
She is lording over us
Yes.
with the iron fist, as she usually does.
We're super excited to be live, though. I can tell you that.
And we are going to be here for the next 3 hours.
Going live.
3 hours,
They gave
for
us
sure.
too much power.
They gave us too much power. It was a mistake. Mistakes were made. But we're going to be not just yapping at you, because we have a star-studded lineup of guests for you over the next 3 hours. And Matt Stepp, why not kick it off in style?
Right into it, yeah.
Let's go to the South Plains.
806.
We are pleased to be joined by the new head coach of the Lubbock Monterey Plainsmen, Coach Jason Sims. Coach, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for hopping on with us. We appreciate you. First and foremost, do you feel pressure being the first guest on the show at coaching school?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
That's the correct answer.
There's
I gotta
a
be
lot
honest.
more pressure on Friday night. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot more pressure on Friday night.
Let's talk about this new job. They're promoted from your offensive coordinator position to take over there at Lubbock Monterey. Tell me a little bit about the transition you're making there. These guys in the locker room obviously know you. However, like, being in the big chair is different than being the offensive coordinator. How have you gone about kind of reintroducing yourself to your team in your new role?
No, I mean, that's a fair question, because we are going to be doing things different, even though I am a familiar face to these kids that have been there for a year. And we just slowly started to implement a few different ways to do it, but a lot of it is very similar to what they were used to. So we wanted to transition where we were, I would say, least intrusive into the program.
Sure.
We were already doing a lot of the similar stuff that I would have been doing anyway.
You're just kind of putting your own secret
just my own
sauce
little
on it,
stamp
you know,
in little increments.
Sure. And obviously you've been a head coach. You were at Quanah, you were at your alma mater in Childress. You've been a head coach, and you took a step back, and you were over in Mount Pleasant with Coach Cluley there as the offensive coordinator for a couple of years. I'm interested to know, taking a step back from being the head coach, going back to being OC, which is what you did prior to being a head coach, did that help you grow a little bit as a coach and kind of give you a different perspective on things? Because you're in the big chair and you're in it for so long that taking a step back, did it kind of just allow you to kind of grow as a coach?
100%. It was one of the best things I think that's ever happened to me in my career. For lots of reasons. It was really nice to get back into just being an assistant coach and to go work for a guy like Joe Cluley.
He's a good guy. We'll give.
He's fine.
He's okay. He's a great dude.
One of the best in the profession. And to be able to work for a guy like that, he and I, we were so aligned. What I'd always grown up believing as what you should do with the program, and then working for him, the alignment was perfect. But then to see how he ran his program, and to see new ideas, and to explore, and to go to East Texas and see a different brand of football, and just get back in the locker room with the guys.
And you got to coach. When you become a head coach, you almost hear it from head coaches all the time. I'm doing administrative stuff. I'm doing all that other stuff, and I don't get to coach football as much. Well, I'm sure you probably had a blast getting to kind of coach kids a lot more, right?
Yes.
And taking a step away from that as well.
I mean, I'll tell you this right now. The best job in Texas high school football is a 5A, 6A coordinator.
Interesting.
It's the best job.
Why do you say that?
Because it is all football all year. You're with the kids. You're not dealing with the outside. It's football. It's the kids. It's great. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I've enjoyed learning new things. And it gave me a new perspective. Validated some things that I felt like we were doing right before I got there, seeing some new ways to do it, some modern ways to do things, and now coming back into this role, I have like a new blueprint for how I believe we should be doing things.
Well, and that's interesting because obviously your last stop was there at Childress in 3A ball. Now you're coaching at 5A ball, and I guess this is a silly question. Is football just football? Like, is there a big difference between coaching at the 3A level and coaching at the 5A level, or is it just it's 11 on 11 and that we're not going to overcomplicate it?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Game nights, football. Friday night, football's football.
Yeah. True.
Before that, all the other things, not the same. It's not. The way you practice in the small school, you're practicing the same kids' offense and defense. Big school, you get your offense all day. You're going to practice differently. You're going to see different problems. When you start to put those big linemen on the field and really, Power 5 linemen on the field.
Oh yeah.
There's a different football game that's being played than you are in a 2A or 3A football game. But it is just football.
Speaking of football, let's talk about your guys specifically. And defensively, you're an offensive guy, but I'm going to start with your defense. And you've got a guy, your defensive end, Javian Ramon.
Yeah, speaking of Power 5 linemen.
Utah commit. First guy off the bus kind of kid. I know you were telling us off camera that you have to tell him, you as an offensive guy, you hate going against him in practice because he's so talented and so disruptive. Tell us, I think he's the best kept secret in the state of Texas. For those who haven't seen Ramon play, what makes him special and what makes him what makes you glad he's on your team?
Yeah.
Well, I guess today's going to be the last day of the secret.
yeah, we got the secret is out, y'all.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
He's prototypical 6'7", 260 pounds, runs 4.740.
Jeez.
He's explosive.
Sure.
He's a great kid. A great kid. Come over to us from a Christian school and he's a hard worker, locker room changer. But he is a freak on the field. Like, we cannot block him. We cannot, and we feel like we're fairly solid up front, especially on offensive line. That's one of the strengths of our teams. 4 of those guys are coming back from last year's team, and lots of experience there. And he gives fits.
When you're running your offensive practice, let's take Javian. Come stand with me over here on the side. We're gonna run some plays real quick. You're doing a great job, but we just need you to step aside for a minute.
No, I'm making those linemen get baptized in fire, because if we have a chance to block Denton Ryan's 4 Power 5 guys, they got to be able to block him. And they're having to learn some hard lessons, but it's going to make us better because iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
Now, I do want to bring this up because you are, correct me if I'm wrong, you got a basketball coaching background as well.
I do.
Do I have this right? You have a 1A state girls basketball championship
I
on
do.
here now? Then where you were coach there at Archer City. So then how has that, what are the echoes of that we can see in your football, in the way that you go about coaching football?
You know, I tell people this all the time. It's one of the best things that happened to me in my young coaching career. I learned our head coach was Jeff Martin, and we didn't play volleyball, so we started basketball practice the first day of school, and I would go to basketball practice during the period, and then I would go out for football. And when you go play a state championship game in girls basketball and you start the first day of school, you basically do basketball all dang year for the most part.
Yeah, that's a long year.
And I learned a lot from him on how to break up a long season and make certain mile points feel fresh. And I have used that in my football coaching career on how to go through a football season from what I learned in the girls basketball program.
It's interesting. Coaching is coaching in the end.
Yes,
right?
it is.
It's coaching. Speaking of coaching, we talked about you being a Childress guy, and sitting over here is Coach Charlie Johnston, the legendary coach there at Childress High School. He was your high school coach. Coach Johnston's a Hall of Honor member, and he always comes by and gets his magazine from us every year. Can you just tell us the impact that Coach Johnston had on you and what he means to you?
I really don't want to cry on your show.
Yeah.
Be good for our ratings.
He told us he was going to come over here and give you a hard time. He told us to come give you a hard time.
That man right there is, outside of men in my family, that is the most important man in my life. My grandfather raised me. He passed away when I was in high school, and obviously I latched on to my coaches. My grandfather and Charlie Johnston is the reason I'm in this profession, and to be able to go back and spend as much time as I did with him when I got to coach in Childress was unbelievably special. The way he coached us and showed us how to do it the right way has always been a mission for me to give that back to kids.
I was going to say, that's the mission of coaching. Coach Johnston passed that on to you, and now you're passing that on to the next generation. And obviously, we want to win a lot of, you want to win a lot of football games. Coach Johnston won a whole lot of football games there at Childress, and I know you're just as competitive as anyone. You want to win that state championship and get to AT&T Stadium, but there's a bigger message, and that's what THSCA is all about, right?
100%. We're in the business of kids. We make a difference in kids' lives. He made a difference in my life. Still makes a difference in my life. My daughter thinks of him as a grandfather. That's the kind of relationship that we have, and that's my coach. If he told me to run through a brick wall today, I would do it 100% with everything that I got, because I love him. And I want to give that love back and that commitment back to the kids that I coach.
That's what it's all about, right, Tim?
That's absolutely it is. And finally, Coach, before we let you go, I'm sure there are folks out there on the South Plains and in the Panhandle there who want to know your take on District 2 5A Division 1, right? This is a tough district.
It's a balanced district.
It's a balanced district. We look at it as dorks who just look at this for a living, and we're like, boy, it seems like there's 4 or 5 teams that could win the district, and you can kind of shuffle them about. But from your perspective as a guy who's in it there, how do you look at your district heading into 2025?
Exactly how you see it.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly right. I mean, there are 4 to 5 teams in there that anybody could win it, or you could be out.
Yep.
And
every game's huge, right?
Every game.
Yeah.
Every game. We showed that last year. We kind of came out of nowhere and won the district, but everybody's capable of doing it. They all have great coaching staffs. That's what makes that district so good, is the coaching staffs that are there. I mean, there's really good talent, but those are some of the best coaches that I know are in that district, which makes it so tough, because Coach Fullen and Coach Plunk, those guys over there, they are really, really solid. Coach Dunham is an unbelievable football coach, and so you get in there and you have to go to battle with those guys. They have their kids ready to go. Their schemes are solid, and it makes you better.
We better get our tiebreakers ready just in case.
Yeah,
we might get our tiebreakers ready, because I think you guys was a 3-way tie last year, if memory serves, or did y'all win it outright?
We won it outright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Matthew.
I could
Put some respect on his name.
I gotta make sure I got it right. But yeah, I mean, they gave Denton Ryan all they wanted in the area around the playoffs, and I'm excited to see. We think highly of the Plainsmen, and we think you guys will be right in the mix there once again in 2025.
He's Jason Sims. He's the head coach of the Lubbock Monterey Plainsmen. Coach, we so appreciate you making some time here at THSCA Coaching School and Convention, and enjoy the rest of your off season in as much as it exists. You know, I know it's kind of over now.
I appreciate y'all having me, and I appreciate what y'all do for Texas high school football and coaching.
We appreciate you, Coach. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Coach.
You.
Jason Sims, head coach of the Lubbock Monterey Plainsmen, join us here on Texas Football Today, live from the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention. We are going to be here for 3 whopping hours, thanks to our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission. Matthew, you know that coaching, like football season starts here.
Yes.
You know where it ends?
I think it ends in Arlington.
Ends in Agtown, that's right.
Oh, yeah, AT&T Stadium.
The AT&T
the
Stadium.
State championships.
Yes.
There's nothing better.
There is nothing better. This is that's it, and our friends at Arlington Sports Commission are helping us to make this program possible. We so appreciate them as we are going to be wall-to-wall coverage live here at the THSCA Coach School and Convention. Let me tell you something. We should get Jason Sims on all the time just so Charlie Johnston will come and hang out at our booth.
Love having Coach Johnston around. Would you get a Hall of Honor member around? You
get like one of the winningest coaches in Texas high school football history.
That man has forgotten more football than I will ever know in my life.
That's absolutely true. Yep. We're rolling on here at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention, the Dave Campbell's booth. We are pleased to be joined now in the hot seats.
Speaking of guys who know a lot of football.
Hello. By the head coach, the Waco La Vega Pirates. We're going Belmead. Talk to our friend, Don Hyde. Can we call you our friend? Oh, hold on. We can call you our friend?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay, that's good. I don't know. Sometimes it's touch and go between us.
I just appreciate the fact you never pick us to win anything.
There you go. You're welcome. to fill people in, there was back in, I guess you guys won the title in 2018.
Yes, sir.
2018. 2018, and
hell of a football team.
And I very famously did not believe in the Pirates.
What were you thinking?
Very famously.
A great man once said, "What the hell, Tucker?"
Yeah, I know. And so Coach Hyde, because he is a classy man, invited me to speak at their championship banquet. And I got up and gave like a nice 3-minute speech or something. And then Coach Hyde proceeded to essentially read me the riot act from the podium for about 15 minutes to the entire community of Belmead. Do I have that correct?
It was a true Greg Tepper roast, La Vega style.
Well deserved, right, Coach?
No doubt.
Yeah. Deserved.
So, how are things at Belmead? We're going to have 11 guys to put on the field this year? You feeling good?
Yes, sir. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I feel
looking forward to it.
You have continued the tradition of La Vega football. And just the excellence there, which predates, it goes back a long way. Willie Williams, obviously, what he was able to do there. I am curious how you go, because the expectations there are so high. Sure. Every year, you have your own expectations, and the community has those expectations. How do you instill in each team that kind of, hey guys, like we're not here happy to just make the playoffs. We're not here happy to go 6-4. How do you instill in those in your guys? Hey guys, excellence is the standard here. How do you do that?
I just think you preach nonstop that there's no such thing as satisfaction, and so from a coaching staff on down to every kid on our team, whether we win 35-0 or 22-12, we're never satisfied, and you're always striving to get that next game. And so we've been very blessed there to play in it 5 times now in the last number of years. And so, but along the way, even with that expectation high, you've got to have certain things fall your way in order to get to where you want to be. And so healthy and luck, you got to get lucky along the way.
So many good football teams in the state of Texas.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, and so health's probably the most important thing I think is out there. But no one puts more expectation on our place than we as coaches do, and so it starts up with every coach on our staff, whether it be whatever sport it is. The expectation is to be great, and if you shoot for greatness all the time, you may fall down and be excellent every once in a while.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, and it's not just in football. LaVega's had success in a lot of other sports, and that starts, but I think football does set the tone. And you guys, obviously, last year you get all the way to the state championship game. You obviously don't. The goal is to win a state.
Sure.
You're at a place. I think Tepper said it. The goal is to win a state championship. But still, looking back on it, it's so hard to get to that point. Winning 5 playoff games is nothing to sneeze at. When the season ends, especially when you go that deep and you fall just a little bit short, for you, how long is it before, are you a kind of guy like you need 2 or 3 weeks to kind of decompress, and then you kind of look back on the season and kind of fondly, once those seniors graduate, I know they mean a lot to you. How long does it take you kind of to look back on all the good you guys accomplished?
I'm still pissed today.
That's a very Don Hyde answer. I love it.
If that's just, I tell our kids all the time, me as a coach, I don't set the standard. You set the standard. What are you gonna accept? What are you gonna accept from your teammates? And at the end of the day, it's not my football team. It's not our coaching staff's football team. It's the kids that play for us football team.
Sure.
And so, I don't think, people say, Coach, great season, congratulations. I say, man, I'm the first loser. No, who likes the first loser? 5 years from now, nobody gonna remember who Carthage beat. They just gonna remember Carthage won. And so, I think that's got to be the internal drive. And you as the coach, and you as the quarterback, and you as the filmer, and you as the superintendent. We're lucky. Our superintendent, she wants to win, and she ain't real happy when we don't. So that breathes down through all of us.
You gotta have. I've heard coaches say this. Maybe you can validate this. Championships are also won by administration. You got to have a quality administration, and it sounds like your superintendent, she's as competitive as it gets, isn't she?
She is, and it's all parts of a whole. In order to be a great athletic program, you got to have a superintendent that believes in athletics, and our superintendent believes in athletics. Dr. Sharon Shields, she's the best I've ever worked for, and then you got to have high school administration who believes in athletics and sees the value in athletics, not just believe in it, but sees the value in it, because we're not out there just trying to win football games or trying to win basketball games or whatever. We're trying to teach kids how to grow up, and sometimes that's easier said than done. And there's going to be some you miss along the way, and those are the ones that keep you up at night, that the ones you miss. But it's not going to be for lack of effort at our place.
Matt Stepp, watch this. I'm going to compliment Don Hyde. I'm going to pay him like an honest, real live compliment, live on the air. This is one of the finest defensive minds in Texas high school football. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yes, one of the finest defensive minds in Texas high school football. We hear, and we pay all sorts of attention. The offense sells tickets, right? And offense is always changing. They're always trying to stay one step ahead of you. From your perspective, as a guy who's gone up there and you can get on the board and draw up schemes, how often are you evolving your scheme, or are there just like core principles that this is what we're going to do, and we're going to stick to these things, and the rest is going to kind of take care of itself?
Well, I'm one of them. I'm an old school guy. I believe in technique. I believe in doing things right. I believe in having a scheme that fits everybody's offensive philosophy. And so there's been a lot of times where over the past number of years where everybody started playing fast and you didn't have time to call a lot of things. I got it from watching Buddy Ryan's 30-30. He called it AFC, which is automatic front coverage. And so we went to some of that stuff, and we've done it for quite a while at La Vega High School. But now that they've got instant replay in the booth, what used to take them a half maybe to figure out, or maybe they didn't figure it out till Saturday morning, now they know it by the second series. So we've had to start adjusting our defensive stuff because of what people can see in the press box now on video once you're off the field. And so a lot of that's new to me, because I'm an old school guy, believes in, if this 3 technique's supposed to play this way, and it doesn't matter, come hell or high water, this is what you do. And so but constantly evolving. I'm going to tell you something about football. If you're not evolving every single day, you're not going to win.
You get left behind, right?
Because people, there's an offensive guy somewhere in here talking to another offensive guy about how to move the ball and how to score points. And then they're not just trying to move the ball. When I got in this business in 32 years ago, offenses and defenses were totally different. When you was a defense coordinator back then, you was pissed off if you gave up 3 yards. You're like, don't give up 100 yards rushing. Don't give up more than 250 yards a game. Don't let them score 14 points. And offensive guys were like, we got to get 4 yards. If we can get 4 yards, we got a first down. If we can get 3 yards 3 times, we'll go for it on 4th and 1.
Sure.
And around 2004, 2005, everything flipped. And so now, as a defensive guy, I tell our guys all the time, stats do not matter. The only thing that matters to us defensively is the goal line. That's it. If we can keep them out of the goal line, who cares? They can drive up and down the field and run as many plays as they want to, but if they don't score, it doesn't matter. In 2008, we played Tyler Chapel Hill. They had Matthew Tucker, who ended up going to TCU and playing the professionals.
Great player, yeah.
Great player. He rushed for 247 yards against us that day, and we beat him 56-8.
Didn't matter, right? Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
56-8 sounds pretty good.
Who cares how many yards they get? Yards don't matter.
Yeah.
I don't worry about yards. I tell our guy, throw that shit out the window.
Because it's interesting, one of the things that I think is fascinating here is that defense coordinators, obviously, they're very good in the NFL. I'm here to say that. But they're also all kind of defending against a lot of the same schemes. When you're coaching in 4A, you might see spread offense one week, and then you're going to see the slot T the next week, and then you're going to see an I formation next. And so to hear you say, like, we need to have a scheme that is going to be able to fit to all defenses, that's easier said than done, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's complex in a lot of ways, but it's simple in a lot of ways too. And so my philosophy is the simpler you keep it, the better your kid's going to play.
Yeah.
Because if they're out there trying, in defensive, pro football, college football nowadays, they've got ample time to put all these schemes on and work all this stuff, and we don't have that much time. And so, we're limited in what we can do. And so I always tell our coaches, they're like, Coach, we need to add this right here, and they'll send me a DM on Twitter about this new blitz, and I say, well, what are we going to get rid of? Because we can't work all this stuff. We got to simplify enough that's going to make us be effective. And my philosophy at LaVega High School has always been, we're going to have good enough players that if we're sound, they know what to do and they can do it fast, we're going to be successful.
They don't think about it. They just play.
But at the same time, don't create robots. There's a fine line there. You create a robot and he's trying to, he's everything 6-inch step and all that. And of course, we preach all that. Ain't nobody taking a 6-inch step on Friday night. I mean, they just ain't doing that.
Yeah, they're just playing ball.
Yeah, playing football.
Speaking of playing football, you got a football playing guy at quarterback, Courtney Parr. Watched him play last year, watched him grow, watched him this year in 7-on-7. He looked great. Obviously, a lot of Parrs have come through LaVega and been great athletes. What makes Courtney special and the leader of your football team? Courtney is,
first of all, Courtney's nothing like his uncle or his daddy. Both of them played running back for us. Courtney Sr. was very quiet, kind of standoffish. Chris, his uncle, was in your face, let's go, this is the way we're doing it. And so Courtney Jr. is kind of a mix of both of them.
Okay.
He's exactly what you want from a quarterback. He's the type of kid that can make a mistake and you run off the field and you get in the middle of him and he just looks at you like, why are you talking to me about this? I got this under control. Why are you even worried about this? And to me, at quarterback, you got to have a guy like that.
Even keeled, right?
Oh, no doubt. He's even keeled. And he looks at you like, Coach, I don't care what you're saying. I'm fixing to go out here and do what I want to do. And so, in a lot of ways, I'll tell you a funny story. We're playing Wimberley, and it's about in the semifinal, and it's about 50 seconds before halftime. We're moving the ball down the field. Offensive coordinator calls inside zone with an RPO, a go route, and out route number 2. And I tell him, I said, Coach, he's fixing to throw this. And he said, no, he's going to read it. And I said, okay. So they come out and cover 2-man. We're in 2-by-2. They run in 2-man, 2 safeties deep, man under. Got a 5-man box. We got 5 to block their 5, and we got a great running back there. And I'm thinking, all he got to do is hand off. We're going to score. And you know what he does? He pulls in, throws a fader out, and gets it picked off. And he runs off the field, and he's like, Coach, I thought I could fit it in there.
Love the confidence.
That's a true story. Me, the defensive guy, I'm like, why are you calling that right now? Now they got a chance to go down and score. There's 45 seconds left. And so, but that's the kind of quarterback you want. Coach, I thought I could fit it in there. He got man under and got over top. I thought I could fit it in there.
So, you famously, we kind of opened this conversation with talking about how much you love and appreciate our predictions and how good we are at them. I appreciate all those text messages you've sent me of telling us how good we are at this. I want to, in fact, by the way, this is another true story.
I apologize, I'm sure.
Yeah. This is a true story.
He should apologize.
He texted me after the semifinal. You guys beat Wimberley in the semifinal. And all it just said was nice pick. Because
Coach, I picked y'all to win that game.
Okay,
Smart guy, right?
The guy. Anyway,
I'm telling you right now, if you ask me, Coach, I can pick you every week or I can never pick you.
Yeah.
I would choose never pick
Absolutely. I'm doing Coach's work for him. You're welcome is what I'm saying. All that's to say, we got you third in the state.
I saw that.
Yeah, we got you third in the state.
I'm real happy.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
Is that where, how do we feel about that? How do we feel about third in the state?
I mean, we got the kids to be very good. And the key words there is to be. You know, we expect to be. You know, I expected when your magazine come out for us to be in the top 5. I expected that, and so not saying I wanted it, but I expected it. And so, if you want to be a top tier program and you want to be a top tier 4A Division II football program, then you got to expect things like that. But at the same time, we're not talking about that. We're talking about getting beat last year on December whatever at Texas Stadium 28-14 by Carthage, who's picked number 1. And so that's all we're talking about. We don't want to be number 3. We want to be number 1.
There you go. I get him. He's Don Hyde. He's the head coach of the La Vega Pirates and our biggest fan. That's right. My biggest fan, I would say.
Send our best to Mrs. Hyde.
Yeah, Mrs. Hyde likes me.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hyde was just here. I just walked her out of here a while ago because she didn't want to sit around and be embarrassed while I was on the air a while ago. But I'm telling you right now, there's so many men here that couldn't do the job they do every single day without a good wife, and I've got an excellent one.
There you go.
I will vouch for that.
Yes.
She likes y'all more than she likes me.
Well, hey, we're good with the boss. That means
Yeah, exactly right.
Coach.
We got everything we need in Belmead.
That's
then.
Right.
Don Hyde, head coach of La Vega Pirates. Coach, appreciate your time as always. Looking forward to seeing your boys.
Thank you, guys. And I'm telling you right now, Texas high school football would not be what it's like today without you two guys.
I appreciate
it.
Coach.
And Ashley over here.
Yeah, Ashley too. Mostly
I'll
Ashley.
include her.
Thank you, Coach.
Mostly Ashley.
Mostly, yeah. I think we know.
Finally, now we're getting to the good part of the interview.
Thank you, Ashley, for making sure Dave Campbell runs smoothly.
Someone's got to keep track of those
That's right. You're exactly right.
Let's cut his mic. There you go. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you. There he goes. Don Hyde, head coach, the La Vega Pirates, join us here at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention. It's Texas Football Today Live. We are here until 2 p.m., maybe even longer. We're going wall-to-wall coverage. Thanks to our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission. Thanks to our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission helping to make this possible. We mentioned it, that football season starts here and it ends in Arlington.
Beautiful Arlington, Texas.
Beautiful Arlington, Texas. We appreciate them helping to make this show possible. Coming up here in just a moment, a guy who we've got super high expectations for his team, maybe even state championship expectations for his team. Sitting in the hot seat next. But first, a word from these value partners.
Yo, these Katie's are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can guard pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Texas, the Ford Summer Sales Event is here, and we're bringing the adventure with the best deals of the season across our leadership lineup of best-selling trucks and SUVs. Hurry in today and drive the #1 vehicle brand in Texas. Now that's how you summer across Texas with Ford. Right now, get 4.9% for 72 months plus $3,250 total cash on F-150. Only at your best in Texas Ford dealer.
Back here at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention in San Antonio. Texas Football Today live on location. Matt Stepp, Greg Tepper, Ashley Pickle making us. We are extremely live. So much so that I think Coach Hyde cursed.
I think you did. That's
got through. Let's see if the next guy in the hot seat can make it through without cursing. It's the head coach of the Fort Bend Rich Point Panthers, Coach Rick LaFavers, joining us. Coach, how are you?
Great. How you guys doing?
No pressure, Coach.
Listen, it wouldn't be an interview without Coach Hyde if we didn't have a little salty language. Okay.
All right. So, Coach, you have such a diverse coaching background, right? Coaching at Rice and in Alabama and TCU before making it to Rich Point. And I am, we all talk about, with coaches how they are all kind of products of the people that they worked with and work. What have you taken from that time at the college ranks that makes you the coach that you are for these Panthers?
I worked for Dennis Francione for 8 years, and then David Bailiff for 6, I guess. And so just being around those people and organization and how to run a program and from the weight room off season all the way through what you do in season. So just took that, kind of, try to make it my own, have a great staff that's been with me for many years, and we try to tweak things each year and just continue to get better.
We talk about you guys and the consistency there at Ridge Point. Ever since Ridge Point opened, they've been, Coach Sniffen started it, the program, and got it established. So you were just down the road there at Lamar Consolidated, and then when you took over the program, that standard has remained high. And I know there's no one thing that winning programs have year in and year out. There also are some common things. What has kept Ridge Point, obviously great football players for sure, but what's kept Ridge Point a consistent football program year in and year out?
Yeah. Well, you said it. It starts with having great players, but and it started with Coach Sniffen, and when the school opened in 2010. Just a standard of excellence, not just in football, but in all sports. And Ridge Point's very successful academically and athletically, and we've been able to maintain and I think even add to it the last 5 years. And so there's just a culture of the iron sharpens iron, and there's great athletes that just push each other and pulls out the best from each other.
Winning breeds winning, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you've done a lot of winning there. Including a run to the regional final back in 2020. It's hard to win the deeper you get in the playoffs, said the obvious man. This feels like a team that can break through. Is there a feel for us sitting in these chairs and just looking at things on paper?
Just a couple of slappies
talking football.
You're the guy who knows.
We look at this Ridge Point team as that team that can break through. Is there that feeling within the building that this could be a really special team?
This is as talented a team as we've had since I've been there, but we still got to do it on the field. So as you said, on paper, but we're excited. We got to stay healthy and still got to play the North Shores and Tascasitas and
no pressure.
Yeah.
And that potential word, right? Potential word, right? There is potential.
In Coach Saban's words, it's rat poison. So, but we do have talent. I'm proud of the guys, and they've had a great offseason, great summer. So we just got to get out there and do it and put the ball down.
And when as a coach, I feel like that talent that you have coming back, it starts, I think, when I look at you guys on paper, offensive line in the trenches. I feel like your offensive line has a chance to be among the best in the state. And if you've got that foundation on the offensive line, speaking obviously here, it's going to make for a good football team. Just your offensive line, obviously those kids are talented, but what makes that group as a unit a special unit?
Well, I think all coaches know that an offensive line is such a family and a tight, knit unit. And so, different in college, you recruit these guys and you can kind of have the same group for a while, but in high school, with the different grades and stuff. So we were blessed to have, these guys basically are 3-year starters and have been together, and just they're a tight-knit unit, and that foundation, that cornerstone is really where it starts for us.
This is a team that we talk about Region 3, and we've mentioned the North Shores, the Cadies. The good thing is that the UIL gives you a nice, easy path through the playoffs. But how do you approach that? I mean, obviously, to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? And these are the teams that have run, Region 3 for a while. How do you talk with your guys about, acknowledging that they can read, they can look at what's happened in history, and also saying, guys, it doesn't have to be this way. How do you approach that conversation with them kind of throughout the year?
Well, we don't talk about it throughout the year as much as just the standard and again, trying to make their best, whatever that is, every day. So, but at the end of the day, we got to put the ball down. At some point, somebody's, got to take that seat. And it's nice being an underdog sometimes, have a little chip on your shoulder and and use that to motivate. But all respect for those programs and the old saying, they put the pants on the same way, and so you just got to line it up and play.
But at the same token, Region 3 is not just North Shore to Tallahassee.
No.
There's good football.
Yeah.
It's one of those deals where, when you're running the hurdles, if you're looking at the hurdle in front of you, you're going to trip over the one in front of you. So you really have to use those cliches, especially once you get in the playoffs, because that grind, Region 3, Division 1, and 6A is just a meat.
Yeah, there's no easy weeks. So.
You talk with your offensive line a little bit, but you do have you lost a great quarterback. Austin Carlisle is one of the most fun players in the state of Texas. I'm sure you wish he had another year of eligibility if he could. I know he's going to do great things at the next level. Looking forward to watching him play. But how is that QB battle? I know you got multiple guys that you feel confident with. How is that battle shaped out through the spring, 7-on-7, and now heading into fall camp?
We do. We have three guys: senior Roman Seymour, a junior Brody Bartee, and a sophomore Travis Fiedler that all had great off seasons, great springs. Nobody's really
making your job tough, aren't they?
Yeah. Nobody's really taking the lead, and so we'll carry through the fall camp and hopefully that'll work itself out. But all three are capable and it's nice. It's a good problem to have because they're all elite quarterbacks, and we just got to find that one that'll take the spot. And then the nice thing to know is if one doesn't work out or gets injured or whatever, we definitely have another person to take over.
Never heard a coach complain about depth.
No.
Yeah, but let me tell you, this is classic Matt Stapp. He's like, let's talk about the quarterback. Let's talk about that. Let's talk defense. Okay, I want to talk about this because I'm excited about the potential of this defense. Guys like Romare Smith, or guys like Preston Hall, you guys have back who are coming off of really, really strong seasons. When you look at the defensive unit that you're putting out there on the field on Friday night, what has you excited about this group?
The speed and the length. This again has a chance to be, arguably one of our better defenses, our best defense that we've had, since I've been there. Just length and speed all around. Division I players, that with offers and commitments at just about every position. So, we're excited. Got to stay healthy, and we have some depth there too. But the biggest thing is just speed and the length of the defense.
Coach Tepper brought up your coaching tree, but I want to go back. You are a proud native of Amarillo, below San Below,
yep,
right?
Yep.
And you played at TCU.
Yes, sir.
TCU grad. How Coach Dykes, and what's the outlook going to be from your perspective 2025? How excited are you about the Frogs?
I'm excited. I it's nice to have Hoover back, and I saw I got a chance to go up and watch him during spring football, and I think they're gonna shock some people and make a run at it.
They didn't have those facilities when you were there, did they?
No. When I was coaching there in the late '90s, Coach Fran, we got some of that started, but no, we were in a weight room that was basically a double-wide trailer kind of tin building where their sled field is now. But it's nice.
Slight upgrades, right?
Yeah.
No, they're doing good.
Okay, and my last question has something to do with football, but not much, which is you and your wife have 4 sons. Is this correct?
Yes.
4 sons.
Yep.
4 boys.
4 boys. 2-part question.
Pickles over there shaking her head.
Because I got two boys.
That is so much energy, my Lord.
I got 2 boys. They're 6 and 3.
You might as well count me because
I was like, she's got 5 boys. Let me tell you.
Kind of what I'm driving at.
boy dog, and then the husband doesn't act his age.
Your poor wife.
Yeah.
Does she say listen, guys, what is her scene control like within the house is what I'm saying, because it seems like she's got to be able to.
If you're in basketball, that's a full court defense.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
We can put the pressure on, but she's good at breaking that press up.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much, and she can do it. But no, she's the boss, and just to echo what Coach Hyde said, you definitely have to have a great wife, great partner, and she's done a great job of helping raise our 4 boys, and is a rock star for me. So
what's that food bill look like?
Yeah,
I got 2. 2 are in college, or one one just graduated, and so 2 are out of the house. But when they do come back and visit, I mean, it seems like a gallon of milk, every day. And right now I have a 9th grader and a 7th grader, and they do their part. But when it was all 4, it was a lot.
Yeah. Those grocery store runs were.
And the oldest was an old offensive lineman, so that kind of is almost like a 5th child. To be honest.
I was going to say, it's an extra one. He's Rick LaFavers. He's the head coach of the Fort Bend Ridge Point Panthers. Coach, we so appreciate you taking some time and chatting with us. And we are
honored to be here.
If we didn't say it, we are very excited to see what your Panthers do in the fall. We're really excited.
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely. There he goes, Rick LaFavers, head coach of the Fort Bend Ridge Point Panthers. Join us here at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention here. We are Texas Football Today. We're going to be here for hours and hours and hours. We are not even a third of the way done with today's show.
We've got so much of the city of Arlington to talk about. I've got my list of Arlington restaurants. I'm going to give my top 5 Arlington football stadiums here in a minute.
Listen, we've got...
I'm just ready. We got so much to talk about the city of Arlington.
Brought to you by our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission, helping to make this possible. We have got this is the honest... this has cell phone numbers on it, so I don't want to show you, but this is the list of guests, and it's insane. We've got it on Twitter and on social medias.
Yep.
You can see exactly who's coming up here. A star-studded lineup of guests we've got coming up here in a little bit. We're going to be joined by Travis Bush, the head coach of the UT-RGV Vaqueros. We're going to be joined by Scotty Walden, the head coach of the UTEP Miners.
Yep.
Eli Reinhardt from Hutto.
Oh, yeah.
Formerly the offensive coordinator at North Crowley.
Some guy named Matt Wilson.
You can catch those Hutto games on Dave Campbell's Texan Live this season.
Always be closing pickle.
ABC.
Jeff Traylor is going to join us, the UTSA head coach. I like to think of him as former Gilmer head coach, Jeff Traylor. But one of the things we have not had yet in the hot seat yet, Matthew, is a reigning state champion head coach.
No, we have not.
Let's fix that.
Let's do it right now.
We are pleased to be joined by the head coach of the state champion Smithson Valley Rangers, Coach Larry Hill. Coach, have you gotten tired of being introduced as a state champion yet?
Well, no, we went all those years without being introduced that way, so we'll take it as long as it holds up.
There you go.
It has now been about 7 months since you guys hoisted that trophy, and the story, people know the story about how close you guys have come and how it felt like in a Hall of Fame career, if I may be so bold, in a Hall of Fame career, the one thing missing, you finally got in that state championship. Now looking back on what you guys were able to accomplish, how do you sum up how special not just that moment, but all the build-up in the season was to finally get that trophy?
Well, very gratifying. You mentioned 4 previous trips to the finals, and then I guess 4 other or 3 or 4 other semifinals and quarterfinals, a few more than that. So we've been around it, but not been able to do it. And I've been asked, why this team? What did they do? And really, no disrespect intended, it was not our most talented team that we've had through the years, but they were real special. They peaked at the right time. We had some early season, a couple of losses early in the year. Didn't wring their hands and show despair. Just kind of kept grinding and kept believing in what we were doing. Just kept trying to get. They just kind of clocked in and clocked out every day. It was a very business-like team, not overly emotional. It's just a good group of kids. Smallest senior class we've had in 30-odd years. There's 22 seniors. So kind of unlikely that would be the one, that would break through. But sometimes it's not about how many numbers. It's who are those numbers? Who are the guys that make up those 22? And of course, they're underclassmen teammates. So very special. You don't know what's going to happen next, but you're always going to have that.
The Texas high school football playoffs in any classification are a grind. You guys are in the second, 5A Division I, and winning 6 playoff games. I think the people in the stands think that it just happens overnight, and it just comes naturally. But it's a grind to get through 6 weeks of playoffs against really good football teams and really good coaches. You mentioned that this team peaked at the right time, and you've been around playoff teams that have had great runs. How important is it for your football team going into the playoffs be peaking at the right time?
Well, it's real important, and you would think it would be natural. Golly, here we are, and this is the most exciting time of my life, but it's really more of the norm especially after a round or two, like, oh, gosh, this is Thanksgiving, this is late November, this is December, and you can get tired of it.
Yeah.
You know, you really can, because it's Tuesday afternoon and we're still doing the same things we've done for 14, 13, 15 Tuesdays prior, and to be able to keep doing that and understanding this Tuesday what we're going to do over the next hour is really important. This meeting, I've got to pay attention. This rep in the weight room is not unimportant, you know, and just so, and that's easy to say, but to sell some kids on doing it, and I think it's got to keep raising their awareness level of it. Look, there's only half as many of us as there was last week. Next week, there's only going to be half as many again. If you want to keep me, you got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And this team, they typified that. They really did.
Let's do what all coaches love to do, which is talk about games they lost. Let's go back to September 27th. You guys take on Piper, come up just short in a real whale of a ball game. At that point, you guys are 3-2. 3-2. What happened then? Because it's not win or lose, it's win or learn, right? What did you guys learn from that propelled you guys into what ended up being the historic season?
Well, you know, we're very, and we have been for a long time, we never really put any emphasis on any one game or set of games. We refuse to embrace a rival game. We refuse to target one or two games as the games of the year. And I know we've been criticized for that, but I've always thought if you put too much emphasis on a game or a couple of games, then what happens if you win it? Well, next week's game not that important because you said this was the biggest game. Or if you lose it, well, your bubbles burst. I guess we're not as good as we hope to be. So, you know, we try to make Monday, Tuesday, you know, checklist type team. And so to answer your question, you know, we lost a pre-district game. We lost the fifth game, as you mentioned, and then we go to the open week, and, you know, you get to hear a lot of chatter about who you are and who you aren't and that kind of thing. And I don't know that it really triggered. We never lost again. Obviously, we run 11 straight. I don't know that anything really triggered other than just let's stay the course. I would have liked to have won those two games that we lost, but today's no different than it would be if we were sitting 5-0. And that's easy to say. It's easy for players to hear, but to answer your question in a roundabout way, we just tried to keep on keeping on. We didn't panic.
You know, Smithson Valley, for those not in the San Antonio area, it's kind of a unique place. You know, it is. You know, you go to some places and there's a town, you know, and it's one town and it's easy to rally behind. In a place like Smithson Valley, especially when you first got there, it's a large area school district where kids are coming from different areas, and so there's not really a central town, and it makes it a little bit tougher to build it and to get everybody and kind of all rowing in the same direction. And you were able to do that. Is there one thing that you can point to when you first got to Smithson Valley that kind of helped you guys kind of get the program going in the right direction? Because it wasn't easy, I know, in the beginning.
No, it wasn't. They hadn't had much success for a variety of reasons. But you got to have a breakthrough. You got to have a launch point. You know, I think the old timers would point to, whether they're spot on or not, I'm not sure. But we had a breakthrough game. I think our sister school, Canyon, had went 3 rounds in the playoffs the year before. We're favored to win our district again. And we're in the first year of a realignment, so this here head coach, who just was 1-9 in his first year there, I don't try to hide the fact we went out and tried to find some non-district games that we could win.
Sure, you're trying to build a
we got to beat somebody. Sure, and we did, and we won 5 of them in a row, but we still really hadn't beaten anybody, and certainly nobody notable. In the 6th game, we had a 2-minute drill, threw a pass in the end zone that be forever remember. We beat them. And on the bus ride home, you could just kind of sense that I think this can work.
Sure.
You know, and that that game has been certainly given credit for being the launching point in '94, and then a year or two later we win a playoff game, and then a couple years later we're playing in the semifinals, and now we've had a whole generation of players come through that think you're supposed to win all the time, and that can be dangerous, but it can also give you confidence. And so I would say probably our game against New Braunfels Canyon in '94 probably is a springboard.
I want to talk a lot about your 2025 team, but one guy who I think every year there's like one or two Texas high school football players who become folk legends. Do you know what I mean?
You're fixing to ask me about Cage Bradley.
Bingo bango. This is a guy who I think he won fans all over America with his state championship performance. I know he'd been doing that all year for you guys. He's now off to the Air Force Academy. From your perspective, Cade Bradley, what is it that makes him special?
He's just he's the nicest, most well-mannered, well-brought-up assassin that I know. You almost like him for knocking the fool out of you. Yeah. You almost like him for embarrassing you and dropping the shoulder on you, and you can't dislike the kid. Not a me guy, not an overly demonstrative guy, and our other players fed off that. I mean, obviously he's a good player. We wouldn't be asking him to do the various things we did, but more than anything, they looked up, we need to practice like that guy practices. Mm-hmm. In meetings, we need to pay attention like that guy pays attention. We need to play ignoring opponents and not getting into look at me. I mean, they just fed off that. Mm-hmm. And good for the Air Force Academy, which in effect will be great for our country moving forward. He turned down other D1s that were not academies. Not interested in NIL money or the ability to transfer if things aren't going well. There is no NIL. Yeah. And you're not leaving unless you want a dishonorable discharge. And so, to turn his back on that because he wanted to do this, that just kind of continues to speak who he is.
Do you know what I think is fascinating? Is that I asked you about one of your best players last year, and I don't think you said anything about how good a football player he is. You know what I mean? You just and I think that's probably pretty telling about the person that he is more than the player.
I mean, you wished he'd run the country one day or the state, but he's probably too morally principled to be a politician.
There you go. Smart move. Coach, obviously on paper this year, I think, defensively you got a lot of experience back and a lot of great players on that side of the ball that were key parts of your team last year. But I want to talk about your kicker.
Oh, wow.
And I don't think the kicking game, especially at the high school level, can get overlooked. We talk about quarterbacks and running backs and those kind of things, but it's such a secret weapon to have a reliable kicking game, and I think your kicker Trent Amaya might be the best in the state of Texas. What a luxury item that is for you guys. It's got to be real nice to have a guy like that back.
Well, no doubt. Most of the time they're starting kickoffs on their end of the field. He's gotten good enough. Hey, throttle it down a little bit and let us cover him, and we may get him inside the 20. You keep slamming them out of the end zone, give it to him on 25. We're forfeiting a few yards of field position there, or he can cross field group and drop it in a hole. A couple of plus 50 field goals, and he punched. You mentioned kicker. He's a little sidewinder punter and drop it. I think his net average was 42.3 on punch. So, we've had him. He'll be back for his second year, and of course, if you guys remember, his brother did it for 3 years prior to that, and he'll tell you that he's almost as good as the little brother that's coming into the junior high. My granddaughter cheers for the Pop Warner team. She says, "Papa, you got to see this one that's coming." So we got Amaya's kicking, have had, and gonna too for a while. But Trent, you're right. He's pretty special, and that's not something people talk about a lot.
And he's a very accurate field goal kicker as well. I mean,
yes.
he's It's incredible. He's a really good football player.
No doubt, and that's a weapon, and we're tickled to have him back.
When you take a look overall at this 2025 team, and obviously, look, it's July 20th. This is a non-binding answer. Do you have a feeling quite yet on how maybe different this team may be, in what ways this team may be different from last year's team?
Well, obviously, any high school, anybody y'all have had on is doing without some people now, and we didn't graduate a ton of seniors, but you mentioned one, and there are several others. Sometimes it's who you lose than how many you lose, and who's back rather than how many are back. And so, certainly, our players are confident. They've played in the last 2 state championship games, but not arrogant, we hope. And I don't sense that. It's shown up in their work ethic. It's in their daily habits. They are not thinking they're all that, nor should they. They've done absolutely nothing yet. But at the same time, hopefully, you can sense that maybe they can draw on experiences of being in big games, which may give you an opportunity to win some other big games, which we clearly are going to have to do.
All right, I got one more if you.
Go ahead.
Okay. You are, I think, famously one of the hardest working coaches in the state. I read a story, correct me if I'm wrong, that in 2006 you took game tape on a family cruise. Is this correct?
Well, there's a lot of time on that boat, and sometimes.
Okay.
So you can't just eat and be the pool all day. So you might as well get a little work done.
You can, Coach, but okay. All right.
Well, I have a question about. So I heard a rumor that you've got binders that have charting a lot of things. Offenses and opponents and those kind of things. How far back do those binders go? Do you know what year they go back to?
Well, I've gone digital now a little bit.
Oh,
high tech.
This is breaking news.
Digital. Yeah. Now I've probably got them back going 20-odd years that are saved. I can't print. I guess I could print them out, if we needed to. But I think God makes everybody different, and there's a lot of ways to run a program, a lot of ways to win games, and He made me kind of a anal
type A
checklist guy. This is what July 21st needs to look like in my world. There are other people that do it differently that are wildly successful, so I'm certainly not advocating that. That's just how I'm more comfortable doing that.
Sure,
I just know it's the end of July. Looks like we did all the July stuff. Now let's print out the August and let's go. And that does not guarantee you your ultimate goal, because clearly I've achieved that, one time. So that is not foolproof. But for me that works, and others got to do it their way. But yeah, I'm afraid what you've heard is probably true.
Do you have a ring yet?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you wear it?
Not much, can't be like the Pharisees, So usually team functions that are something about that team, then I will wear it. But otherwise, I read something the other day, the Arizona State head coach, and I've forgotten his name. Dillingham?
Kenny Dillingham, yes.
Yeah, sailboat doesn't sail on yesterday's winds. What a great line.
That's a good point, yeah.
And
accurate.
So, rings at home. Proud of it.
As you should be. Well deserved.
Yeah, my oldest grandson, I got 5 of them. Papa, now, when you die, which one of us gets that ring? Oh. When you're 9, you don't think about how things sound. I go, well, you and your little 3rd grade teammates better get to work and get one of your own, because that's probably going in the box with me.
He's Larry Hill. He is the head coach of the state champion Smithson Valley Rangers. Coach, congratulations again on all your success. We so appreciate you making some time for us.
Thanks. I appreciate y'all having us on. Appreciate what y'all do for high school football in Texas.
Thank you, Coach. There he goes, Larry Hill. head coach of the state champion Smithson Valley Rangers. Long time coming, that state championship.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm glad you asked him about the binders, because I had to ask him about the cruise tape, because I read an article about that, and I'm like, there's no way.
There's a lot of Coach Hill. Coach Hill's been around for a while. There's a lot of great Coach Hill stories.
Yeah.
And when you win a lot of football games and you have the longevity and the success that he's had, you'll get some stories, and he's one of the best.
You get some quotes, man.
You
get some quotes.
Get some bars.
Yeah.
This is also, it's also funny. It did feel like the coaching community when Smithson Valley won. Obviously, look, if Highland Park had won and it's, Randy Allen gets in the state championship, I'm sure they'd be happy for him as well.
Sure.
But I just I don't know if you felt it. There was like an outpouring of yeah.
He's such a good guy, and he's a good man, and you want to see good people have success, and so I think getting so close 4 times and then finally getting over the hump. I think Randy Allen, I know he wasn't happy about losing, but I think he was almost like, if I had to lose to somebody in the state championship game, I'm glad it was Coach Hill.
Yeah, absolutely. We are Texas Football Today. We are live at the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention in San Antonio, here on the floor with a ton of big-name guests rolling through, including our next big-name guest. Let's go to Central Texas, the Hill Country, to talk to the head coach of the Mason Punchers, Coach Wade Griffin. Coach, has that title, head coach of the Mason Punchers, has that soaked in yet?
Not really. You can see the big smile on my face. I haven't thought about that much. I've been there for about 2 months, and we've been getting after it every day to try to get caught up, and I haven't really even thought about that. I don't think too much yet.
I'm getting used to seeing you purple,
Yeah, I've done my best work in purple, though.
Yeah, you have.
I guess that's right.
Purple's your color.
It is, I think so.
Yeah, was that an idea of why you applied for the job? It's like you don't have to really do your wardrobe over again?
For sure. I just go back to the old stuff.
There you go.
Well, let me kind of ask a serious question about that, because you get announced as the new head coach there for Mason, and there's a really nice press release about what a great fit you are for the program and all these things. And we agree with all those things. But I want to take that question and turn it on its head. Why was Mason the right place for you? What was it about Mason that drew you to want to be there?
So I'm a father of 4, okay, and if you look at Mason as a community and as a program and as a school, what I've told everybody, it's a culture of high achievers in everything that they do. They win in golf, they win in tennis, they win in band, they win in one-night play, they win in all that stuff. And if you look at teams that are in the top every year in the Lone Star Cup, it's that place. And so as a father, it's important to be in a town like that where you're surrounded by people that are successful. And then as a football coach, to have a chance to win a state championship and to be at a place that legitimately you can say, if we do things right, we'll be in the mix. Those are all things that pushed me to want to go be a puncher.
Do you have 4 girls?
3 girls and 1 boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had Rick LaFavers on earlier from Ridge Point. He has 4 boys, so his poor wife.
Jeez.
So
exactly.
you got 3. I couldn't remember if you had 3 or 4 girls. So
3 girls, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I told one of my coaches today, everybody needs a little girl in their life, especially coaches.
As someone who has 3 daughters,
it changes your world for sure.
I hope they play girls basketball, because Mason used to whoop my butt at girls basketball.
We are pretty good at girls basketball. Yes.
I've been personally victimized.
And so they are basketball players. Yes.
Lano, Texas, checking in.
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
So, now you mentioned you've been there for 2 months. Are you still drinking from a fire hose? Or I know I texted you, and you were moving. You were in the process of moving. Have you settled in and kind of gotten to a routine just yet?
We're getting closer. It's not quite there yet, but we are in a house there. We do have our stuff there. We have our workouts are going smoothly. Kids are doing a great job, and there is still a little bit of that figuring new things out, but we're getting close to being on track.
Good.
I was going to say, now being on track, on paper, you look at Mason, and I feel like they're obviously you got your own schemes, your own systems, and you also have a very young football team. A lot of guys, a lot of inexperience. I think 5 starters total back from last year. How have those young guys, have they been a sponge and soaking up the new schemes?
Yeah, it's great. And the good news is we're keeping things pretty similar to what they have. A lot of things will be called the same. I am changing the way I call things to meet what they do. That way we stay more on track. Not having spring anything, I figured I could learn more than they can learn new things. So a lot of the same coverages that we do that are similar, I'm keeping the words the same, so that way I'm the one that's learning and not them. But yes, they've done an amazing job of showing up and working and figuring out what we're going to do. It's been awesome.
Now you're a guy who the programs you've been at have been at different places in their life cycle. When you were there at Elgin, like you took them to their best season since like the 50s, right? You took a program that had been in need of a jolt and he gave it that jolt, right? Then you're there at places like Giddings and Weimar where maybe the tradition is maybe a little bit more set, but still helping to take them to the next level. Mason's we know the expectations in Mason.
Yeah. Right.
The expectation there is we're going to win at a very high level.
Yes.
How does that? Is there any difference between that and taking over a program that you're building the expectations, or is this just we're coaching football, we'll roll the ball out there, we'll play?
I mean, that's a great question. I think because we're such a young football team, if you took over a whole group of seniors and things were established, you would have to, just kind of keep things rolling. But I think having a young team, it is like starting over.
Sure.
Trying to get them to believe and give them their chance. The good news for them is that the people before them have done it. In some of the other places we've been, they have not done it. So at least they have an example
that
to
winning
live
culture.
by. Yes.
Yeah.
And so how we're approaching it is it's your turn. You've seen this, you've grown up watching, you've wanted to put that horseshoe on the side of your head. Now it's your turn to go do it, and let's go make it happen.
You've been in Region 4. You're at Weimar, so you know the challenges that await if you guys take care of business in district play. As a region, I mean, do you feel like this? And I know you're probably biased because you're in it, but Region 4 to 2A Division 1, toughest region in the state?
No doubt about it. Everybody in every other class, everybody thinks Region 4 is not the best, but in 2A, it's by far the best. I mean, Stanford and some of those guys will balk at that, but the depth of Region 4 is amazing. There's about 5 teams that you could say have a legitimate chance to win the state championship.
And I guess I think we'll put you guys in that discussion. Obviously, there's a lot to be determined, but I mean that playoff grind, it starts pretty early. Like you might, if you get that 1 seed, that 4 seed is not a gimme game. You got to come out and play, but also I think your district has a chance to be tough. Obviously, I know you haven't fully had a chance to coach against those guys yet, but I'm sure you've watched a little bit of tape. What challenges does your district bring?
Well, first off, I know Thorndale personally because they were in our district in Weimar for 2 years. So I know that their groups are coming that they've been waiting on. Very talented group. I think going to Thorndale is a very hard place to play. You have to walk about 2 miles to get to the stadium. Wow. It feels like from where you dress. It's 2.5 hour drive from Mason to Thorndale for a district game, so we'll have our work cut out for there. But San Saba has a great quarterback and a great staff, and they've done an amazing job. And I don't want to shortchange anybody, but definitely have our work cut out for us week in and week out.
Now, some people may say, I certainly would never. I'm just saying some people might say that actually Mason's hiring a girls coach and getting a football coach as like a bonus.
Yeah, that's fair.
You would agree because your wife is joining the staff of as a coach as well.
Yes.
Is it fun to ride shotgun?
It's good. Yeah. I mean,
your wife is riding the coattails.
Yeah. On paper, I'm in charge at work. She's in charge at home. But it is fun. And especially having girls in the high school program too. Every day you're around your kids and your family, and it's just it's what we do. I don't know what we're going to do when they graduate, because right now it's just it's an everyday grind with them and with my wife. But
then when they're gone, you're going to miss it, right?
I am going to miss it like crazy.
I mean, are there how much time? You don't get a lot of time off, do you?
Not much. No.
You're pretty busy, right?
Yeah. I mean, when we are off, we're playing softball tournaments all over the country.
Jeez.
Or we're going to, my girls are going to team camp in basketball next week. There's always something we're out chasing and doing.
Yeah, and chasing and doing there in Mason, Texas. You mentioned the standard of success in boys and girls sports, academics, band. When you got hired, was that kind of the message when the superintendent gave the call and said, "Hey, you're our guy"? But We expect you to win, Coach. Did you kind of get that?
One of the questions in the interview is definitely, what do you think about the high expectations here? Mm-hmm. What do you think about the standard of excellence? How do you think you'll handle that? And my answer is, why would you want to coach anywhere that doesn't expect to win? That's what we get in this thing to do. And you would rather go somewhere like this that expects to win, and you have a chance to win, and they're going to give you everything you have to win, and then the opposite, where you're fighting like crazy every year just to get in the playoffs.
Isn't it Mason's tennis program like among the most decorated programs in any sport in Texas?
Very, very much so. Amazing what they do. When you go to the state tournament, there's like 16 different divisions you can take people in. We took 15 out of the 16 divisions.
I was personally victimized by tennis as well.
A lot of therapy going on here in this pickle.
And there's, we have the amazing courts. There's 10 courts that are amazing, and just had this huge tennis tournament there this week, the Dr. Pepper Open, and it's a big deal in Mason, Texas.
All right, and finally, we cannot talk with the head coach of the Mason Punchers without asking the state of the Puncher Dome. I know 2024 had some temporary situations there. Can you give us and give the viewers at home who are deeply
official
concerned?
Puncher Dome update.
What is the official Puncher Dome update?
We're in the same boat as we were a year ago.
Okay.
So negotiations with insurance and all that have been ongoing for the last year. As soon as this season's over, construction starts, and by 26 we ought to be back to rolling.
And I've already told you, when it's rebuilt, I'm coming to Tepper's been at the Puncher Dome. I have not.
It's a special place. You need to be there.
It is.
I hit a lot of golf balls into the Puncher Dome. Yes. Mason was a hard time for me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
This is tough. It's a tough interview for Pickle.
Yeah, this is tough. Wade Griffin, the new head coach of the Mason Punchers. Coach, we so appreciate your time. We appreciate
Thanks for having
us. And congratulations on the new gig. We're really excited to see what you guys do down there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach.
Wade Griffin, head coach. The Mason Punchers join us here at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention. It's Texas Football Today live on location. Been rolling for more than an hour. We're going all the way till 2 p.m. or maybe later. I don't know.
Well, who knows?
Pickle's in charge of the computer. We're just kind of...
we're here to party.
We're just kind of rolling.
If Pickle says we have to stay longer, then we stay longer. So.
I've never advocated for the two of you talking longer than I need to listen.
We're presented by our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission. Football season starts here at THSCA and ends in Arlington. We appreciate their support. Coming up here in just a moment, a guy who will lead a college football team into their first ever game. Who could it possibly be?
I don't know. Who could it
Find out after these messages.
Oh, these Katie's are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can guard pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Texas, the Ford Summer Sales Event is here, and we're bringing the adventure with the best deals of the season across our leadership lineup of best-selling trucks and SUVs. Hurry in today and drive the #1 vehicle brand in Texas. Now that's how you summer across Texas with Ford. Right now, get 4.9% for 72 months plus $3,250 total cash on F-150. Only at your best in Texas Ford dealer.
Back here in San Antonio at the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention, Greg Tepper, Matt Stepp here on our extravaganza. And we've already talked with some big-name coaches.
Big names, lots of big names.
One box we have not ticked yet is a college football coach.
An undefeated college football coach.
The winningest coach in UTRGV history. We're pleased to be joined by Coach Travis Bush of the UTRGV Vaqueros. Coach, how are you?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Probably not as good as you, considering you got a football game next month.
Yeah, we got training camp starting in 10 days, and these 2 years have flown by, and we're about to see what we have for real. So we're excited.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you mentioned the 2 years. Like, I think, this has been a slow build. This has been a long build for you. Does it feel like there's a football game next week or next month, or like are you still like still kind of wrapping your head around like, oh yeah, we're going to actually suit up and go out there and play a real live football game?
No, that's a good question, because you're right. Some days it doesn't feel like this is actually happening for real. It's been so long, and we're just so consumed with building and building the facilities and getting this roster and getting everything done. And we still got a lot of work to do in the next 41 days before that first game. But there's times it feels like we're actually fixing to do this.
I can remember. I remember getting the call that you were the guy, and I called you. I was at the Alamo Dome in a playoff game, and it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
I know.
Time just flies by, but you've been so busy. Obviously, people are going to see the on-field product, but all that has gone into, getting a football program from an idea, a concept, basically, to reality. Is it a little bit surreal when you take a step back and look at what has already been built, and you're like, I can't believe we've gotten all this accomplished.
Yeah,
it's got to be a little surreal.
Yeah, I was visiting with somebody yesterday, and they asked, what's the biggest milestone or whatever in the 2 years, and it's really that whole process from the day after the press conference of meeting with our athletic director, basically with a blank sheet of paper and just making a list of stuff and being the only one on the staff for a while, and a field where we envisioned the facility to go, and then fast forward and you got a full staff, you got your first roster, you got facilities built, you got a stadium built, and we just finalized our roster for the 25 season and got a full schedule, and it's pretty much the process of the whole thing.
You mentioned building the roster. You have been in such a unique spot of recruiting to a thing that doesn't exist. You're like, come and join this thing. We don't have a team.
I promise we will.
We will. So, how do you take me inside a recruiting conversation, and how are you pitching that to these guys, saying, hey, listen, we have no history. We have never played a football game. What is your pitch to these guys to come and be a vaquero?
The biggest sell was the opportunity. And we're going to have everything facility-wise that every other Division I football team in the nation has. The only thing we don't have is returning starters, and that opportunity to play. And then that's why that first class that was mainly freshmen that spent the first year there practicing, and then since the end of last fall we've added 73 guys through the transfer portal. So again, that opportunity that they didn't have elsewhere to play, to be a part of this, to be a part of history, and start something new. And then of course the facilities we're building are going to be as good as anybody in this conference for sure.
I'm really excited to see a game at Vacker Stadium.
You coming?
I'm going to try. I'm working.
Here we go.
I got to talk to my boss, and
I'm sitting right here. I'll let you go.
You got a Valley game on Friday night.
Can I go?
And then
yeah, you can go.
The biggest advocate of the Rio Grande Valley is sitting over to your right there.
That is true.
Miss Pickle. I'm a big fan of the Valley. Pickle's twice the fan.
All excess pass waiting for you. So for all you guys, whoever's coming.
I know Mike Craven, our college writer, Mike Craven, I think has already got plans to come. I need to get down there. So, but that stadium. Do you know? I look at it. I'm like, this could be the premier, depending on what y'all's schedule is, the premier playoff venue for Valley teams. Is that something you're hoping to do? And I know that there's athletic department stuff that you got to work through, but do you feel like?
Yeah, for sure. Another reason to turf it. It was natural grass, but to go in and drop it down and turf it to have those added events on there.
Yeah, I would. But I imagine the first order of business is getting that place packed out for Vaquero games. Do you? I think you told me season tickets sold out fairly quickly.
About a year ago.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of orange in that stadium, isn't there?
No doubt. Yeah, and then 40 ground level suites there. Those have been sold out for the next 4 years, and really just trying to find ways to keep the game on outside, let them tailgate outside in ways. There's a big amphitheater behind the stadium there, and be able to broadcast the game back there for students and fans who can't make it in. But it's going to be packed.
I wonder how long it's going to be before we're having to say, UTRGV is expanding their stadium.
Yeah, I know.
There's too much demand.
Yeah.
No, let me, because we mentioned you guys are launching here, and you've got your first game next month. Mm-hmm. What does success look like in year one? You're a football coach. I know the answer is we're going to go win the national championship. From your perspective,
that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
What is a successful first year look like? How are you measuring that? Because obviously there's some good teams in the Southland Conference you have to deal with that have been playing football for 100 years, and you guys are going to be playing for one day. What does success look like for you in year one?
I don't know yet.
I love that.
We don't know yet. We've talked, and we know what the things, our goals, and one of our program goals is to compete for championships, and we will at some point. Again, the mentality in our room is how fast we can speed up that process. But for this first season, again, not having played a game, don't even know who the starters are yet. I think a lot of that will evolve through the season. We'll have a better idea after camp, then after non-conference games, going into conference, and then the open date after six games and 2 conference games. I think your goals can evolve depending where you stand, and and if things go a certain way, then you start talking about being in the mix. But other than that, got to kind of get in and see what the team looks like and see how the first few games go, I think.
Tepper talked about recruiting a little bit and recruiting to a football team that hasn't played a game yet. I want to talk about recruiting to the RGV and what are the selling points when you're talking to recruits. I know what the selling points are for the RGV. I love coming, but when you're talking to kids, maybe kids who are from Houston or Dallas that don't know what living in the Valley is like, and what great things that there are in the Rio Grande Valley. So what do you guys talk to those kids about?
We just get them down there. I mean, you just got to get them down there and see it, because if you haven't been down there, you have this perception of the Rio Grande Valley that's probably not true. But to get them down there and they realize it's a full-blown metroplex, and you've got everything you want to eat and shop and do that you do in San Antonio, Austin, and Houston, and so that's all it's taken to get them down there.
Not far away.
Great people, great food, great people, great amenities all across the valley. You got the beach right there. Guys that like to hunt and fish, and there's a lot. But it once they get down there and see it, they fall in love with it.
All right, let me put you on the spot here. I know you've got 100 new faces in your program, guys who we haven't had a look at them yet. Who is the guy that you're excited for us to get a look at on a Saturday? Who is the guy that we're going to be like, oh man, did you see what he did for UTRGV? Who's the guy that jumps off the page that you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait for the nation to get to see this guy?
Tony Diaz.
Okay.
He, in fact, we brought him here. He's coming in today for our media day. Freshman, be a redshirt freshman, wide receiver out of San Marcos High School, and probably one of the most phenomenal guys with ball, great, phenomenal ball skills, best I've been around at any level. He's just a competitor, brings it every day, loves to practice, loves to work. It's just that overall mentality, and he does some phenomenal things, in this first year with practice. So really excited to get him in games and to see what he can do. And the reality at our level, if he does some really good things, he's probably not staying there long.
That is true, and that's something that obviously you're having to battle with as well. Now that would be a good problem, right? Yeah. Is that he's so good that Ohio State's coming down and he wants to play for him. But at the same time, I imagine that's a new reality for you that I suppose you'll have to deal with.
It is, and we're okay with it. I mean, the same thing for any assistant coach on our staff. If they got an opportunity, we'd love for them to take it. But it's a topic we use in recruiting. You didn't get recruited by those schools. Come here and you need to get on the field. Come here, get on the field and play, and you could still get a chance at those schools down the road. So it's a reality across the board that we're just gonna, you got to learn to adapt and roll with.
Now, that first year after you got to UTRGV, the first year you were there, you were like me in a lot of ways. You were going out to Friday night games and going to games. We would text where to eat at and everything like that. How different was that for you? And I know you were watching your son play too, a lot of the games, but you were going out on Thursday nights and going to different games. Just getting to take a step back and just watch a whole lot of high school football. How was that year like for you? And did you look good, Coach? So you the waistline didn't get too big, but you were eating some good food that year, I know.
Yeah, the first 6 months I gained 20 pounds when I got down there, so you didn't see that part. But and I was talking, I forgot Coach Zimmerman last night from Drib, but that we were talking about that, and which you don't. That first year we didn't have a team. You miss the normal day activity activity of athletic period, walking back and forth through the school building, going to practice every day, and just that everyday activity that you don't get. We're sitting in an office all day, and then it's, happy hours here to promote the program, and dinners here with donors, and then you look up and everything's fitting pretty tight. But really enjoyed that year, just to be a dad on Friday night and watch.
I bet that's a priceless experience.
And then to just go watch other programs and schools and just watch. Friday night you really don't get to watch a game. You're working so hard, but it was a fun year, and then got to do it a little more this year, just mainly with my son's game since we were practicing. But just to watch football and be a dad and not be stressed out was cool.
How stressful was that being a dad? Like because you have no control. When you're a coach, you have some control. You're calling plays, or we go for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
How tough was it on you being a dad?
Oh, it was cool. I enjoyed it. Just sit back and watch, and
all the experts in the stands calling plays.
Yeah, we always made sure we're not in the stands, but no, it was fun. Just a chance to watch him, and they had a great year, great run last year, and to go to the semifinals, it was a great experience to be a part of on both ends.
The first game's coming up August 30th.
Yes.
But this has been a journey full of firsts, and whether it's seeing the helmets for the first time or stuff like that. Is there a first that you've already had that made you go like, whoa, like this, like that is just burned in your memory of something you're always going to remember?
Probably it's just the first team meeting, the very first time to look that crew in the eyes and like this is our first team, and it was probably more nervous for that team meeting than I was in the past 25 years of coaching, but it was a fun year. We had fun with it over the practice year, but that was to me to really see a group that came there on a dream and made it real.
Well, we are so fired up for you guys. We are so excited to see Vaqueros football. I know the Valley is on fire for it right now. You guys haven't even played it down, and you guys are the most popular team in town already. Yeah. Congratulations again on everything, and we are let's go win a Southland Conference.
Yeah,
let's just go do it.
Yeah, why not? We're picked last, so there's only one way to go.
That's absolutely right. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Thanks for making time for us.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Travis Bush, head coach of the UTRGV Vaqueros, join us here. Texas Football Today, live from Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention. Very cool. Like he's in such a cool, unique position.
He is.
And for him to be a former high school football coach, he gets it and he understands it. But that recruiting thing is so fascinating.
It really is.
Because like Texas, let's use the Texas Longhorns. They can be like, hey, remember Ricky Williams? Yep. You can just go play where Ricky Williams played. He doesn't have that luxury.
No. He's got it's literally. You put it well. It's a concept.
Yeah,
it's our football program is a dream, but it's about to be a reality.
It is, and I know. I mean, you know this. The Valley is one of the most football crazy parts of the state.
They love football.
They love football.
High school, college.
If we could move our headquarters down there, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
The fact that they are going to have college football Saturdays in the Valley is going to be banana. That game against Sul Ross on August 30th, it's going to be unglued.
Yeah,
it's going to be so cool. Yep. We're really excited for Travis Bush and the UTRGV Vaqueros. It's Texas Football Today, live from the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention.
We are so live.
We're the livest we've ever been.
Absolutely.
We can't possibly be more live. Nope. If we were more live, we'd be in your living room.
That's right.
No one wants that.
But we're here. We are presented by our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission. Football season starts here. It ends in Arlington. We appreciate their support of Texas Football Today.
Definitely love the city of Arlington.
Speaking of Arlington, a guy who last coached a game in Arlington and won a game in Arlington. In fact, he is the offensive coordinator of the last high school football team to win a game in Arlington.
Yes. Yeah, that was the last game of the season last year.
The new head coach of the Hutto Hippos. It's our friend Eli Reinhardt. Coach Reinhardt, it's good to see you, my friend.
It's great to see you guys. Appreciate you having me on.
We appreciate you taking some time.
Busy guy. You're a busy guy here.
You are a busy guy. You're out here. Okay. I want to talk about the celebrity of Eli Reinhardt, okay? Because it does feel like last season, I think there was understanding around the high school football sicko community about what a bright offensive mind you were.
Yeah.
It does feel like that playoff run with North Crowley as their offensive coordinator took your Q rating, so to speak, from here to like Matt Stepp levels. Do you feel it?
He's got a state championship.
Has your life, like, obviously getting a head coaching job, but like, have you felt it change? Like, oh, that's like people know who you are now.
Yeah, I think so.
A lot of text messages from numbers you don't recognize. Coach, I need a job.
Absolutely. It's, my life has changed completely over these last 3 years, and having an opportunity to work with Coach Yates has been really life-changing for me. So, that's been a big part of it. Our success has been probably the most important part of all of it, outside of what we've done offensively. But, we've won a lot of games and had a lot of success. So I think that, is a big part of it as well. But it has definitely changed a lot since I came down here 5 years ago. It's completely different, not knowing anybody to, feeling like I know a lot of people now here in Texas.
You mentioned that, and I think a lot of people know your background, but for those who don't, you are the son of a coach, and you grew up in a coaching family there, but you were in Michigan, and you came to Texas 5 years ago, and I'm interested in your perspective. I'm sure there's something in Michigan, a coach's meeting or something, but when someone said, hey, Coach Reinhardt, you need to come to coaching school. Your first coaching school, what was your impression walking in?
Yeah, I'd never been a part of anything like it. Honestly, it reminded me of like AFCA, the national convention with all the football coaches. But just walking in and then getting an understanding that it's not just football coaches, but coaches from all over the state, coaching all different types of sports. And just first walking into the convention center, like I was amazed and lost at the same time and didn't know what exactly I needed to do or where I needed to go. But, it was such a great event and had a great time even without knowing anybody, just being around people, talking about the game, talking about their teams and things like that. Like, it really got me excited about the prospects of coming down to Texas and coaching here.
Let me ask a very personal. How old are you?
31.
That makes me very upset. You're the 31-year-old new head coach of the Hutto Hippos. Hutto calls and they say, we want you to be our next head coach. What was the reaction like for you when you got the call of it's going to be you heading to be the new head Hippo?
First it was really, it was obviously exciting to get the call and have an opportunity to get my first head coaching job, but then it became the emotions of, well, now I have to leave this place that has been so special to me and leave a head coach that has done nothing but, help me out in every way possible in not just the football realm, but in my personal life as well. So, there was a lot of emotions going on in that short amount of time. Like, man, this is really happening, both on the good and the, wow, this is moving very fast. So, but it was a great opportunity. It felt like one I couldn't turn down, and great school, great community, and it felt like the right one and the right time to really kind of take this step forward.
What made Hutto the right fit for you? Going through you see a program from the outside looking in, and you're like, what, that's a good place. I might like to coach there one day. If that job ever opened up, I might throw my name in the hat. And then you go through the interview process, and it's just not a good fit. What made Hutto, working for Coach Compton, the athletic director, Miss Netherland, the superintendent there, what made Hutto a good fit for Coach Reinhardt?
I think during the interview process, I could really tell the importance that was placed on athletics as part of the educational process. Athletics is important, but, it all serves a purpose in, bettering student athletes in their lives. And it felt really apparent that the Hutto community felt that way about their football program and the importance of it as well. So that made me really comfortable with it. I was also excited that it wasn't necessarily the biggest school district in the world, multi-school district. Right now there's one, and then there will be another one here in a couple of years. But it made me feel like all of our problems would fall within a small area. We could get the things that we needed service rather than having to worry about, 7 or 8 other high schools that also had to fix issues. So, and then the community aspect of it as well. I think it reminds me a lot of home, a smaller community, way bigger than my community back home, but you still get that small town feel when you drive through Hutto and be at the school and things like that as well.
You come down to Hutto and you address your guys, your team for the first time as their head coach. What was your message to your guys the first time you got them together and talked with them?
The message was just, you're going to get to know me over these, next couple months, and we're going to try to set expectations. We're going to put it out front of what's expected of you and what you can expect from us as coaches, and provide that message for them, and then also show them as well. I wanted that first couple weeks that I was there for them to really get a good feel for me, and I wanted to get a good feel for them. So we kind of let what they had been doing, we kind of just let them roll with it, just so we could see the transition, see what it was like, and then sort of slowly implemented our stuff as time went on, just to try to get a better understanding of everything going on, and then also just get the feeling out process through it before we really started getting after it. And we were able to do that a lot towards the back end of spring and this summer.
Coming up, you're an offensive coordinator. You're worried about the offensive side of the ball and that kind of thing. But when you think about, and I'm sure you've thought about this when you became a head coach, what kind of defense would I like to see us run? What kind of who are some defensive coordinators that I'd like to call? We'll talk about the offense in a minute, but talk about your defense a little bit. What scheme are you guys going to run your defensive coordinator, and how you went about selecting that?
Yeah, we really got lucky with our defense coordinator. So Coach Holmes, DeAndre Holmes, actually came to us from Crowley High School. He actually relocated for his wife's work, so he was actually in Austin kind of just hanging out in December.
Wow.
And got the job and was like, well, he's Coach Lynn guy, which is a Coach Gates guy as well. So it was a seamless transition. I think our defense is going to be mixes of what we were doing at Crowley, and then just multiple and aggressive on defense. I feel like we have a really good solid group of defensive linemen that both in this 26 class and the 27 class, so we're going to be good at that position in the future. Feel really good about our linebackers. We have two seniors that have played a lot of snaps for Hutto, and then secondary wise, feel really good about the corner position, and then safety position. We have a lot of guys that have played a lot of time, and feel really good about the experience we have coming back.
What's interesting is to to kind of transition to the offensive side. I guess first question, when I think of Eli Reinhardt, I think of him by himself, like far away from the rest of the team, squatting and looking at like a play card, like a small, like he's got to have sitting here like that. That's to me, like if you were asking me to draw a picture of Coach Reinhardt, that's what it would be. Are you going to call plays for the offense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're going to call plays for the offense. The North Crowley offense you had, obviously pretty good, pretty talented,
seemed decent,
seemed okay, right? What do you do as far as implementing those schemes into a new place? Because those guys had some years to get used to you. How do you go about implementing that same scheme to get those same results that you got with the record-setting North Crowley offense?
I think it's just like we did every year at North Crowley, was just kind of reevaluate our offense and our talent and figure out what is going to best suit them as far as just what's going to put them in positions to be successful against the defenses and the opponents that we're going to play. So finding ways to reinvent ourselves every year, I think, gives us an opportunity to keep up with what everybody else is doing. I think if we continue to stay the same or stay in one spot, I think all the teams are working hard. They get paid too on that side of the ball to figure out answers. So I think it's good for us to find ways to evolve and keep growing. And with a new set of kids, finding what they do well, what they've done well in the past, and then fitting it into what I like. But at the same time, I like winning a lot, and winning is fun. Winning is more important than my system, you want to say. So whatever works, whatever helps us get closer to winning games, that's what we're going to do offensively. That's what we're going to do on the defensive side of the ball as well. Just try to take advantage of defenses, put our kids in the best position to be successful.
I'm sure if we told you right now, hey, Coach Reinhardt, you're going to go 16-0, but you're going to win every game 3-0, you'd probably take it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, one thing I love about you, I've noticed about you, and I've told people this about you, is when you meet Coach Reinhardt off the field, he is the nicest, just most chill guy you ever run into. But when you get on that field and between the lines, you are as competitive and as fired.
He's the Terminator.
You are. I didn't want. What did Coach Hill say about his quarterback? He was the nicest assassin you've ever met.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself like on film and be like, oh man, why was I that fired up? Or do you kind of laugh at yourself like, man, I'm a crazy person?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually very fortunate. I remember watching the broadcast of the state game, and they had me running down the sideline as we scored one of the touchdowns. I was like, thankfully it was that one, because that was the most calm that I was, during those. But, I get excited. I get into the game. We still try to. Absolutely.
You're a competitor.
And I try to wear it on my sleeve. I think the kids feed off of it. I think they can feed off of the bad energy too. So you got to have a certain level of control in that aspect. But I think it's important for your kids to see that you're excited and that you have some energy and juice going on in a game. As much as people say it, but to actually exhibit it and your kids to feed off of it, I think is important.
Well, and I think it's genuine juice. Like, it's not manufactured, it's not fake, and I think kids see through that. And I think when I see you on the sideline, I see you pregame, it's genuine. That energy is genuine and it's real. And I think kids feed off of that and know, hey, Coach Ryan. I'm so fired up here. Also, Coach's juice is getting me fired up. But I think the kids feed off of that, and they know that, hey, Coach Reinhardt wants us to win. He wants the best for us, and he's willing to run. He would run through a brick wall for us, and we're going to run through a brick wall for him.
All right, let's talk about the best play call of the 2024 season. Do you know what play call I'm talking about?
I do.
Idea, right?
Okay. Opening snap of the state championship game. The flea flicker that ends up going for a touchdown to Quentin Gibson. One of 140 he had in that game. Take me through the game planning process for that play call and when you guys decided this is where we're going.
So I was actually talking to the defensive line coach. We were driving back from Allen after we played Allen, and basically it was like the plan was we make a state championship game. The first play is a trick play. It doesn't matter what it is. I actually thought it was going to be a double pass, but Westlake had played off with their corners a lot, so it was like double pass out of the question, and we practiced this. I really like to run them in practice against our defense. It really fires our guys up and makes them on defense a little bit mad.
I'm sure Gates gets all fired up, doesn't he? Yeah.
So it was one we had been holding on to. We actually hadn't run it since 2022 against Lovejoy. Actually, you guys were at that game. We ran the same exact flea flicker against Lovejoy for a big play in the third quarter to go take the lead in that game. So we kind of had it planned, kind of knew what it was going to be like, and actually we're getting ready to call it, and we tell our quarterback, give them a thumbs up if we're good. We actually were not good into that look that they were giving us. They were bringing two guys off the edge, and it was really dicey
because he was under severe pressure. He stepped away out of a sack, basically.
Yes, absolutely. So it was one of those things. It was just like, I guess we're going with it, and our kids more than not made it right, and trusted our kids in that moment. At the same time, was ready to be like, my bad, Coach Gates. We'll roll from here. We felt like we had a good plan, but that was kind of our identity all year. Was we really wanted to strike first. We really wanted to get after people fast and get out on them. As much as people, defer and try to defend and get the first stop, we wanted to punch first in every single game, grab the momentum, and then kind of ride that wave throughout the entire game. And that was a big part and a special moment and a special play, and still surreal looking at those highlights and seeing that actually worked in the game.
Yeah, well, there were a couple of other touchdowns there. A few. I've told Coach Reinhardt this. I'll say this here. So I was on the sidelines I was on sideline reporter on your sideline for that game for the broadcast.
Didn't he pick Westlake?
He might have.
He did.
Who could remember? There's no record of this.
I think Coach Gates remembered it.
I'm fairly certain he did. I'm fairly certain Coach Reinhardt.
I'm sure he reminded you too.
Oh, no, Coach Reinhardt reminded me during the game.
I was there.
During the game.
Pickles over here juicing Coach
Reinhardt.
Oh, it
was so good. It was so good.
It's like 36-14 or something. Like it's over. It's over. And it's very clear. I've said this before. I've been wronger about games before, but this is the game I've never been more sure more quickly that I was wrong. Okay?
Gates brought up the prediction graphic in the pregame speech.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
But the reason that Eli Reinhardt's kind of a jerk is that I was telling this awesome story about him and his upbringing and his dad and like coaching under his dad in Michigan and this great, and it takes a little bit of time to tell. And this jerk scores another touchdown while I'm calling. Like, I have to shut up and stop the story. The story has still never been finished on the broadcast.
Yeah. He's like, that guy Tepper, he's not getting this one out.
No. Like, he got his revenge on me.
Pickles over there just got pom-poms just waving. She's like, yes,
the North Crowley flag was waving, man.
Yeah.
Make Tepper look bad, yes.
It was great. But I think we've made up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're good.
Absolutely.
We're good now. But I'm certain I'll hear from Coach Reinhardt the next time.
There you go.
And now if I pick against Hutto, you know.
For sure.
He's Eli Reinhardt. He's the new head coach of the Hutto Hippos. Coach, congratulations again on the new
Congratulations.
And we are so excited to see what you do with these Hippos. And
you can watch it live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
How about that?
Shout out Coach Reinhardt for making that happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. Coach, appreciate your time, my friend.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll talk soon. Absolutely. There he goes. Eli Reinhardt, the 31-year-old head coach of the Hutto Hippos.
Yeah.
Isn't that disconcerting?
It's disconcerting for sure.
Yes, it's tough, but excited to see what that offense looks like, and excited to see what that program looks like.
I'm excited,
because you're exactly right, and you hit the nail on the head. Like, I think everybody can see with that interview, it's like, wow, super nice guy, like down to earth, stuff like that. I mean that he's the Terminator on the field.
Yeah, he's an assassin.
And sometimes he's like wearing sunglasses, and it's like kind of scary.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, when I was on the sideline, because I was doing the sideline reporting, he came up to me in the middle of the game, and he's like, "Why'd you change your pick?" Because I've been riding with North Crowley.
I watched it happen too,
I've been
and I was
riding
just
with North
laughing.
Crowley, but then the whole truth of the matter is that I called the North Shore Westlake game, and Westlake had smothered.
They played great in that game. They played
smothered North Shore, and I'm just like, man, defense wins championships. Kind of turns out that a 50 burger also wins championships.
50 burgers are good. Yeah.
Now I knew how high you were on Westlake too, and I was like, I think you're making the wrong pick here.
I know. Look, nobody bats 1,000.
No.
Or even 500.
No.
We're Texas Football Today live at the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention, presented by our friends at Arlington Sports Commission. The parade of big name guests continues.
Right. A guy who would like to be in Arlington in December, I think.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Is the head coach of the San Antonio East Central Yellow Jackets. It is
the Hornets. The Hornets.
I had the wrong bug.
He got it right.
The wrong insect. The Hornets.
Yes. The Hornets of East Central. Coach Joe Huard.
Coach Joe Huard. Coach, it's good to see you, my friend. We were talking earlier because you can tell he's a bigwig here at THSCA because he's got
green shirt
the green shirt on.
Yeah,
That's the sound of the bigwig.
I mean, he's busy today.
But you told me that early this morning you had to make a pants decision as a result. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely did. You know, I was looking this morning, I looked at the green, and then I said, well, if I put on the khaki pants, everybody may think I'm in the Army. And so I opted for the black today.
There you go. It looks good on you, Coach. It looks good. It's good.
Appreciate it.
Oh, look at this, Coach. What do we have here?
Yeah, so I was able to, have an opportunity to coach in the All-American Bowl back in January, and one of the vendors came through, and he had texted me and said he had something for me, and that's what he came up with. So, heck of a keepsake, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what a keepsake for sure. Now, Coach, I saw you in College Station at State 707. I told you we were going to put you on the hot seat today. And one of the things that I've noticed about your first off, last year, first time in the third round of the playoffs since 1985.
Yeah.
But it hasn't always been easy at East Central, and it's taken some time to build it and get this program up off the ground. And in a lot of places, you wouldn't have had that much time to build because the first couple of years were tough. And building that program, how key and how important it was to have administration that would give you a chance to get this thing built from the ground up.
Yeah, vital is the word. Having my superintendent, Roland Toscano, who I think he really believed in the vision from the very outset. Certainly it was really tough early on with just some of the challenges that we had. I think we were kind of in a downturn with talent, but ultimately them believing in us, having really good principles, and them really working with me to kind of get some systems in place that I thought could really help us be successful was huge. And so we stayed that course and ultimately have turned the situation, thankfully.
But now you have this success that you had in 2024. How do you roll that over into 2025? How do you use what was an historic year there at East Central to fuel what can be in 2025? Because, we've heard from a couple coaches that are just saying like, yeah, we were great last year. This team hasn't won a thing.
Yep.
But how do you use that in a way that is going to be beneficial for your team?
Yeah, I think every year takes on a life of its own. And so if you're consistent, which we are, we've had a staff that's been together and have some continuity there. And I think it's really important for me as a head football coach to set the tone every day that we are going to get better. Because I believe you're getting better, you're getting worse. And so at East Central High School, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that we're better today and continue to put really good processes and systems together so that we can have an opportunity to be successful.
You know, a couple of years ago, you guys started playing 7-on-7 a little bit, and you've gone to state 7-on-7 the past couple of years, and you've gone and qualified. When you decided to do that and jump into state qualifiers, was it more the kids pushing it, or do you feel like, hey, maybe this could help us? And do you feel like these last couple of years, those experiences have helped your program?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of the two. I just think it's important to stay with the trends, so to speak. 7-on-7 has become a really big thing across the country. And so I thought that we may be missing out a little bit by not participating in SQTs and all of that. And so ultimately, just like I told you down in College Station, I think what's really helped us is us being together and having an opportunity to gel as young men, to be on the road together, to eat together. That part of football's football, but I think it's very, very important that the kids are together and they learn each other and learn to play together.
Because you don't really get to do that in football very much. Basketball, they go out of town for tournaments, and softball, baseball, those others, volleyball, all those other. Football, you play one game and you go home.
Yeah.
And so that 7-on-7, that going to College Station, that going to staying in a hotel and going swimming and eating dinner together in that camaraderie.
Yep.
I know you'd love to see it as a coach, because I think you do see that growth and those kids really coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. And the camaraderie piece is huge, and I think it's one that we can easily miss out on as coaches, and so we do everything in our power to foster that within our team, because this is the ultimate team game, and ultimately those guys got to go out and they got to play together and they got to play for each other.
One of the guys that I know you wish you had another year of eligibility, he's off at Arizona now, Myron Robinson. A dog, if I may.
He's got that dog in him?
I would say he's got that dog in him. The Arizona Wildcats are getting a good one. You're the guy who knows him, though. You're the guy who's been his coach. What is Arizona getting in a guy in Myron Robinson?
I think the first thing is a heck of a kid.
Yeah.
Just really great young man, fun-loving kid. Does his job. He's an amazing football player and an athlete who can run, and we always say in our building, everything Myron hits blows up, and so he's just one of those explosive athletes, and if he can stay healthy at the next level, I think the sky's the limit for him.
But it's not like the funny thing is, you lose a linebacker like that who's a stud, right? A two-way guy for you. Your linebacker core this year, I'm looking at your team. This is me. I'm looking at your team. I'm like, boy, their linebacker core is going to be just as good. Like guys like Braylon Blair, who was spectacular for you. Bring it back. When you look at your defense, is the linebacker core what has you most excited?
Yes, it does, 100%, and you're seeing it right. Braylon is the core of our defense, and he's an animal. He just sees things, and he's the same way. When he hits things, everybody knows he's hit it. He hit it, and so it's going to be a speedy bunch. I mean, those guys can flat out and run. We'll have 4 that'll arguably be as good as anybody if we can stay healthy and continue to improve daily like we're talking about. But yes, we're very excited about that bunch.
Offensively, I think youth. It's a younger group on the offensive side of the ball, but they showed some promise going in 7-on-7. I saw that. Tell us how the offense has progressed, and some areas you're excited about. Maybe some areas where we still need to find some guys need to win some jobs in fall camp.
Sure. I think spring training was so big for us because we got to break in some new line kids, and I thought those kids came along very well. By the end of spring, we felt pretty good about those kids, and it's still going to take them getting live reps and live bullets, so to speak, on the field. But when it comes to talent and kids that can move the ball up and down the field, I think we have some. And so, like I said, Jay is coming along at quarterback, and so I really like what he did in 7-on-7, and those guys are really getting to gel a little bit, and so it's going to be fun. Can't wait.
So you, for those who don't know, this is a former Texas Longhorns offensive lineman.
This is a Texas Longhorn great. Our content chief, Brooke Miller, is a Texas Longhorn grad.
Exactly
as well.
right.
She says hook.
So you played on the first ever Big 12 championship game or championship team under John Makovic. How much are you sharing those memories and those lessons with your guys in the building?
Yeah, I think quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to have had an opportunity to play at that level and be coached by some really great coaches, not to remember those lessons. And so we're sharing those things with them. And the kids, they eat it up. When we have an opportunity to kind of talk about that when they're asking about it. And I love to talk to them. And so it's a lot of fun. And we're for instance, Coach Brown used to always say we want to bridge a negative to a positive. And I think that's a really big deal, with all the adversity that comes in a football game. And so you got to understand, you got to know how to turn the page really quickly to get your mind back in focus and turn that negative in a positive.
Coach, I want to ask you, East Central is a unique place in San Antonio. For those, you kind of got some kids who are kind of more rural in rural areas. You have kids maybe who come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. What makes that place special, and how special it is to you and your family?
Yeah, I think the special part is it's a real communal feel. Even though it's a really big place now, we still have some of the old school values. And my wife was a graduate of East Central High School. And,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Which is really cool. But, they really care about their Hornets and have a lot of pride about it. And so there's a lot of legacy kids that their parents went to East Central and now they're playing there. So it's special. And they come out and they support and they support big. So we're always excited to try to give them something to be excited about.
Well, can I break a little news here, Griffin?
Sure.
I'll tell you this. I haven't released my schedule yet.
Oh, here we go.
Week 1, Saturday night, I will be there, Harlan and East Central.
Come on.
Let's go.
Hey, let's go. Well, it'll
I
be
expect
exciting.
a big crowd, right?
Yeah.
A lot of black and gold in the stands?
A lot of black and gold, and then it'll, my good friend Eddie Salas is over there on the other sideline, and they
good
do
football team.
Yeah, they do a tremendous job. I mean, you'll see a ton of speed on the field on that Saturday night, and it's going to be great competition, and we're just hoping that our Hornets are ready to rock and roll.
So your wife's an East Central grad. Does she get mad that, like, when you guys lose on Friday nights, you're like, you're ruining my team?
Is she getting on to you a little bit?
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't think she was much of a football person before we got together, and now she questions my calls. On Saturday, she's, Joe, why in the world did you call that? Why did you do that? And I just kind of laugh and say, you know what? I forgot I need to check with you first.
Yeah,
check with the boss.
Get her a headset. We can figure this whole thing out pretty easily.
Absolutely.
Joe Huard, he's the head coach of the San Antonio East Central Hornets. Excited to see what you guys do, Coach.
Appreciate you, Coach.
We appreciate you making some time for us. And I know, again, green shirt, he's busy.
Yeah, we'll see you week 1.
Yeah,
he'll see you week 1. Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, thank y'all for what you do for Texas high school athletics, and y'all are the best in the business, and just looking forward to a great 2025 season.
We appreciate you, Coach. Thanks very much. Joe Huard, head coach, San Antonio East Central Hornets, hopping on with here at the THSCA Coaching School and Conventions, Texas Football Today, live here from the set.
We're breaking news here.
We're rocking and rolling. Well, yeah, okay. We're breaking Matt's step news.
Well, hey, that's the best kind of news, right?
Okay.
But we are.
We got to hear Pickle tell us about about how Mason apparently kicked Lano's butt and everything when she was in
Literally
school.
everything.
Absolutely, yes. We are Texas Football Today, live from the Texas High School Coaches Association, presented by our friends at the Arlington Sports Commission. Let's take a quick break right here. We got another coach hopping into the hot seat
That's right,
here.
another coach in the hot seat here.
Another new coach. So a lot of stuff to get to here. Stick with us here. Texas Football Today, live at the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School Convention.
Bro, these Katie's are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can guard pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
Fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Texas, the Ford Summer Sales Event is here, and we're bringing the adventure with the best deals of the season across our leadership lineup of best-selling trucks and SUVs. Hurry in today and drive the #1 vehicle brand in Texas. Now that's how you summer across Texas with Ford. Right now, get 4.9% for 72 months plus $3,250 total cash on F-150. Only at your best in Texas Ford dealer.
Texas Football Today, live at the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention here in San Antonio. Greg Tepper, Matt Stepp, Ashley Pickle, making us sound good, and in the hot seat.
More of that.
We're pleased to be joined by the new head coach of the Galveston Ball Golden Tornadoes, Coach Omasha Brantley. Coach, first and foremost, congrats on the gig.
Appreciate it, man. It's a blessing. I'm excited.
You are coming from the offense coordinator at Austin LBJ to
Clear Springs,
at Clear Springs to take over there at
right down the road.
Right down.
Yeah, to take over at Galveston Ball. You had a quote coming into this where you said, "I'm not here to rebuild. I'm here to elevate the standard." And Ball has a lot of history in there. So what does elevating that standard look like to you?
Well, first and foremost, the previous dad did a phenomenal job building the program culture, building a winning mindset with those guys. So those guys know how to be winners. So what we wanted to do is just come in as a staff and elevate that standard every day. You know, don't be complacent with going to the playoffs 2 rounds deep. Let's take it to the next level. Elevate the standard every day in everything you do. So that's kind of our mantra, what we go by every day. The guys have bought into it, and the coaches are preaching it every day. And you know, it's just part of our culture, elevating the standard.
You know, you've been. Tepper mentioned your time at LBJ, and you guys played for a state championship there at LBJ, and you've been around teams that made deep playoff runs. Have you been able? You're not an old coach, but you're not a young coach. You've been around a little bit.
Wow.
Have you been able to?
I think you're young, coach.
Well, you are young, but you know what I mean. You have experience now. You've been around for a little while. You've been around great teams. Have you been able to pinpoint the difference? You know, because I think there is a difference between good and great. And have you talked to your kids about those differences? And hey, in order to be great, you have to do X, Y, and Z.
Right. No, we again, that's what we talk about every day. Like, how you do anything is how you do everything. Championship teams. You look at some of the past state champions and national championships. If you watch all levels, you know how they do anything, how they attack the day, academically, how they attack the off season, the weight room. Guys participate in multiple sports. Just part of that culture. Everything you do every day is going to dictate, your future, how you play on Friday nights, and how you go on and be about in life. So, there's been a lot of similarities I've seen with the kids that we have now at Ball High from the teams that we had at LBJ in 2021. A lot of the same mentality, a lot of the same support type of kids that we have from our community administration. So, again, we just elevating the standard. We talk about it every day. The little things and what you do, they matter. The championship teams, that's the difference between the good teams and the elite teams.
Well, and it's funny that you are, just about 30 minutes ago, we had Eli Reinhardt, the new head coach at Hutto, and to me, like, when I think of like innovative offensive minds, like the next generation of innovative offensive minds in Texas high school football, you two are two names that come to mind here. And so I guess when you take a look at when Galveston Ball folks are tuning in and they want to know what kind of offense they can expect, because I'm sure they've heard Huard, maybe they saw, like in 2021 and there at Clear Springs and what you guys have been able to do. What can people expect offensively from their Tornadoes?
Well, from the team, from the overall perspective, what we talk about every day is discipline. It's one of our core values. We want to be a disciplined offense, something that represents our team. Discipline, physical, and tough. Obviously, I'm an up-tempo guy. I've studied the game every year, studied high school coaches, college coaches, Lincoln Riley, Steve Sarkisian, some of my favorite play callers. So we can't mirror exactly what they do, but some of the core principles and what they implement as far as running the ball and being smart on situational and utilizing different personnel. So, we'll have some different guys that are able to do some different things, and we can be flexible, but you can expect a fast-paced, tough-nosed offense at ball high.
You mentioned guys like Lincoln Riley, Steve Sarkisian as guys that you've studied and looked at what they do. Who are some of the guys that mentored you and some of the coaches that you really look to and say that guy, helped you get to where you are? There maybe guys you played for or guys you coached with as an assistant.
Yeah. I think I mentioned it in one of the articles, but starting with Coach Mathis. He's intense. He was my high school coach when I was at LBJ.
Coach Mathis gets fired up a little bit.
He does. He's probably right. Yeah. He's probably around here yelling at somebody right now. So Coach Mathis gets intense, man, and just that's kind of how I understood how football worked. It's intense, and working with him,
passion.
Yeah, it's just passion. Being able to be a student assistant under Coach Fritz and seeing how he runs a program. He's a special team defensive guy, but you can kind of see how he monitors his coaches and how they implement their scheme. And then Jamal Fenner, at UT right now. I think my first year's offensive coordinator was 2019. One thing about being a coordinator is like it's your baby, and you gotta let your baby grow up before you can give it to somebody else. So Jamal was able to take me under his wing, mentor me back in 2019, and I started to call it towards the end of that season. And then I think the following season he was like, "Hey man, it's yours, you got it, man." So we put our minds together, we schemed, and it was great. Then another one I think it was Bradley Chavez. I worked under him at Clear Springs for a couple of years, and I learned some principles from him. So just a mix of everybody, man. Sure. Some real good coaches that's been around for a while.
You mentioned Coach Fritz and being a deep. You come up as an offensive guy. Coach Fritz is more of an old school defensive guy. What how was that? Being a young student assistant with Coach Fritz. Being an offensive guy. And talking football with somebody like that.
Right. Now he's knowledgeable. I mean, just like any other coach. If you want to learn from the other side of the ball, you go talk to those coaches. So working under Coach Fritz, he has a standard for not only the players but the coaches as well. Having energy, being detailed, being organized, those type of things that I learned from. And don't let Coach Fritz fool you. He's a high energy guy as well. If you go to a University of Houston practice, you'll see, man, he's high energy. He's all around. He's special teams, offense, defense, everything. So you'll kind of see a little bit of Fritz in me as well.
This is we talked about you taking over this Galveston ball program. You were hired in April. When you had an opportunity to get your team in the room and talk with them, what was your message to them? Because they don't know you. You're the new guy in town. They've lived here. What was your message to your guys the first time that you addressed them as their head coach?
It was just, we're gonna love you. We're gonna coach you hard. I'm down here. This is just not just a stepping stone job. This is a long-term situation for me. So you're looking at somebody that's going to be here all the way through your high school career. And we're going to let them know that, again, we're going to implement this culture where we're going to establish winners and guys that can help society on and off the field. And, just energy, just bringing good energy around them. They know that I'm a fiery guy. I got a lot of energy, and they really bought into that. And, it was good to see them hit the weight room and the next couple of weeks and how I coach and getting adapted to them and vice versa. So, again, let them know that I'm here, I care, and this is just a long-term investment right here that we're going to be great for a long time.
Looking at your team, mentioned, obviously ball always has great skilled kids, and I know your wide receiver, Woodbury, very good player, leads a talented group of skilled players. Can you tell us about your star wide receiver?
Yeah, man, Jawan Woodbury, he's an exceptional athlete. I always like to make comparison. He kind of reminds me of Latrell McCutcheon, Andrew Bakuba. Kind of a two-way guy. We can play him on defense, play him on offense. Smart. I think his football IQ is very, very high. So he's able to be flexible on a bunch of things that we do. I think one game last year, he played something about 200 snaps. So he was something like a Travis Hunter. He didn't come out the field. Special teams, defense, offense. So man, he's special. So we just looking forward to utilizing him in what we want to do this season.
And then, youth at quarterback. offensive line. Have those battles developed? How have those candidates for those jobs progressed in your time from April through what was left of off season to 7-on-7 summer strength and conditioning? How those battles shaped up?
We told them first and foremost it's going to be a long evaluation period. You guys have a fresh slate. I don't know what any of you can do unless your name is Josiah Evans or Jawan Woodbury. I don't know what you guys can do. So we started from scratch. I want to see what some of these young guys, how they adapted to coaching, how they hit the weight room, how did they attack the off-season workout 7-on-7. And there's some guys that stepped up that, we're like, okay, this guy might be able to help us this year. He kind of slipped under the radar last year. Now this season, he probably can be in the rotation, be a starter. So finding out where guys can kind of fit in on offense and defensive side of the ball, just develop in depth. So I think we got a good thing going right now. We just got to continue it. Good upcoming freshman class, another good middle school class coming up. So once we continue to just mold those guys, I think we'll be in a good place.
All right, let me just blow up your spot personally here. Are you moving to the island? Are you gonna commute? What's the situation?
Hey man, I live right off the island right
All right, let's go. Yeah. Okay. So then, because Galveston is also. That's a unique place.
It's awesome.
You know what I mean? It is a. If you haven't been to go to Galveston. Galveston.
Go to Corville Stadium, right?
Absolutely.
Brand new press box.
Yeah.
Press box.
No.
Brand new stadium renovation. Press box is going to be done right before the season. It's beautiful.
Listen. They're glowing up and
twist them arm over here. Coach Brantley twist them arm.
I'm trying to get them down.
Right. Yeah. So, how do you? That's another thing that I think is fascinating about, because Galveston, ball is the school of Galveston. You know what I mean? The flagship school. How do you go about embracing the community and making this a community? Because that's when, in my opinion, that's when Texas high school football teams are at their best. Is when they are just a reflection of the community. A reflection of the community. Right. How do you do that?
Well, I read something the other day. Mac Brown was talking. What he used to talk to his players about was being a Texas Longhorn. It's a flex. Everybody can't be a Longhorn. So we try to instill that. Hey, being down here is special. Being a Golden Tornado, it's a flex. So, and it's the community. It's a reflection of the community as well. I mean, you meet so many people down there who really are invested in the program. They're like Ball High. Ball High class of '91. Ball High. A lot of people who really care about the program. So it's important for me to go out and show my face and let them know. It's awesome. I love being a part of this. It is a flex. I let our kids know, man, this is special. Everybody knows Galveston. I always tell my coaches, nobody drives through Galveston. You drive to Galveston. So coming down there again. You coming down there, then you're gonna know something about the Golden Tornadoes. So no, it's a brand, and we're gonna continue to try to level that up every year.
Looking at your district, and I know you've probably popped some film on and watched the game, all of last year's games, and it's gonna be tough. 9-5A Division I is tough. Not only a lot of good football coaches, a lot of good football players in that district, but there's some tough travel. Getting from Galveston, I think you guys have to go to Lufkin this year. That's a long road trip. How do you handle the travel aspect of it, and then the toughness of the district week in and week out? You can't overlook anybody, can you?
No, you can't. I think somebody called it the District of Doom. For one, you got a phenomenal amount of coaches in the district, a lot of coaches. The region doesn't get any easier with the region, but if you do a good job during district, you give a chance to succeed down second, third round of the playoffs. Travel, I think we need to approach it as like a college game day. Hey, we're going to eat a pregame meal, we're going to load the bus, we're going to have meetings, we're going to get our mind ready, get on this bus and travel. It's a business meeting. It's a business trip, right? Business venture. Yeah. So that's what we try to instill in our guys. And like I said, it's week after week, man. It's blow for blow. It's a battle. So we got to be prepared, because we can't sleep on any of these opponents right here. Really tough district week after week, and doesn't preseason what we have. We got some pretty good teams as well to kind of help set us up for some success later down the road. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. We want to play.
You get in the business for, right?
Yeah. We want to play the best of the best, because you want to be the best. You got to beat the best. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
He's Omasha Brantley. He's the new head coach of the Galveston Ball Golden Tornadoes. Coach, by the way, one of the best color schemes in Texas high school football.
As a guy who went to a high school, it's purple and gold. I can
purple,
appreciate it.
I'm just purple. I'm just meant to be in purple.
You are, man.
My parents are PV grads,
Man,
went to LBJ, so I'm just meant to be in
So
purple.
this was just perfect for you.
Yes,
really.
Yes.
So I mean, not to blow up your spot here, but you took the job because you didn't have to go out there and buy a new wardrobe, right?
I still got all the purple stuff in my closet.
There's a savings.
Yeah. So
it looks good on you, Coach. I like that B there. That's a good logo. I might have to hit you up for one of those shirts.
Omasha Brantley. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the new gig, and we are so looking forward to what
Thank you. Appreciate what you guys do for the game, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Coach. There goes Omasha Brantley, head coach of the Galveston Ball Golden Tornadoes. fired up, man.
I need to get to a game in Galveston. I need to get to a ball Golden Tornado game.
Yeah, you do.
That atmosphere is going to be great.
You do. It's going to be a good time, and they got a whale of a coach, and I mean, yeah, he's a guy who made his hay. I think he first burst on the scene from a statewide perspective with that 2021 LBJ team.
Absolutely.
Taking them to a state championship game. I think that it is. I think he's a guy who can. Oh wow!
Heck yeah!
Well, spoiler alert!
Heck yeah!
Spoiler alert!
Good to see you, Coach. Good to
for
see you.
who's up next.
Speaking of bringing the juice,
small amount of energy in the building.
Bringing the juice.
A little bit of energy in the building. Let's go to the hot seat. We are pleased to be joined by the best dressed man at the Texas High School
Looking
Coaches
sharp,
Association
Coach.
Coaching School.
Let's go, baby.
It's the head coach of the UTEP Miners, Coach Scotty Walden. Coach, it's good to see you, my friend.
It is an honor to be here. I'm sorry. I totally just realized to give you guys those gifts. I stepped in front of the cameras.
No, that's all right.
I messed up the broadcast, but we're doing this.
No, let me tell you,
live.
this is good. This is good TV.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
That's right.
It's
That's
genuine.
right.
It's energy, and it's a sweet orange jacket.
Come on now.
I can't pull that jacket off.
Well, we could try.
My wife told me I couldn't pull it off this morning either, but that was the first time I went against her.
You're pulling it off.
The haters are furious that you're pulling it off.
That's right. Doing my best.
Okay. Second year there at UTEP.
Yeah.
I want to look back on 2024. Your first year.
Yeah.
Drinking out of a fire hose.
Ooh, yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
How do you assess what you guys were able to do in that first year?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll tell you this. You can. We're in this talking season, as Coach Prairie used to call it, right? And you can look at last year and 3-9 and this, that, almost not been good, and there were a lot of struggles, no doubt about it. I'll tell you this, though, Tep. Like when I look back at last season, I look at a team that there's some things that happened in year one that needed to happen that you kept measuring the stat column, and those are things for me. Like when we talk about our culture, is having a culture that we're not predicated on the event. We're predicated on our response and how we rise to the level of whatever's thrown at us, good or bad, right? And so when we look at it, when we're going through that 0-6 stretch, came to practice every morning, and let me tell you that, like, we had a football team that fought, we had a coaching staff that fought. I think about the Middle Tennessee game. We lose a just tough game right there at the end, last play of the game essentially, and then that night we had about 30 kids probably, or 25-30 on an official visit. We don't do summer OVs because we want kids to experience the Sun Bowl on game day because it's unlike anything else. So our staff is up till 1-2 a.m. right after that game, after a tough loss. We even had players from that game that we did not ask to come to the photo shoot for those official visitors. They came, and so when I see those things and the buy-in and the culture, that's what fires me. And that's why we won 2 out of our last 3 games. We beat Kennesaw State in double overtime, and then played those guys down the road we won't speak of, in the Battle of I-10, and and got a big time win. But those are the things, Tep, that I look for. We finished strong. We played extremely hard, and that carried over into January with the momentum.
Do you feel like that momentum, keeping that momentum going into the spring football and recruiting? I think you guys are doing a heck of a job on the recruiting trail. Your guys are visible and out there. You guys are really working the Texas high school football coaches, getting their kids. Do you feel like El Paso and the 915 are they? They're all. I mean, it feels like they're ready to explode and ready to go all.
I was just telling someone else this 2 days ago. We did a kickoff party deal, trying to get ready for the season, and we're coming off 3-9 year, tough year, and all that. And I'm walking in, I'm thinking there's probably gonna be 10, 15 people here, and we walk in this little bar, and there's 110 people packed in this little bar with drivers. They got their license plate wrapped around their neck, and people just UTEP. I mean, I walked in and they're going crazy. I mean, you thought I won a championship last year, and I'm like, the people of El Paso and this city is second to none. But it is the most misunderstood place I've ever lived in my life. If you are not from there, you think it's a border town, it's all this, whatever. U.S. News and World Report just came out. We're the number 2 safest city in America. We have an amazing city that's safe, that's thriving. We're going to the Mountain West. We're building a new student union, a new student success center, a brand new dormitory next to our brand new locker room we just built that's going to have a chow hall.
When I went out there to visit you guys, you guys are doing all kinds of construction there.
Yes, and it's growing, and so man, I'm just so excited about what we're building out there right now. Our current recruiting class, is we have all Texas high school football commits, and it's the number 1 class currently in the Mountain West and currently in Conference USA, and we are going to build this program with Texas high school football players. And that's not just talk. I mean, we've signed 42 Texas high school football players in our first 2 cycles, and that's more than any FBS program in the state of Texas, and that's who we're going to be and what we're going to be.
And I'll say this about the city of El Paso: if you eat a bad meal in El Paso, it's your fault.
100%, brother. I ain't found one yet.
Okay. As somebody who publishes a magazine that's 400 pages and we're not going to expand it, I'm a little mad about the Mountain West move because now I got to find another page for a Mountain West preview. But I would imagine that you're pretty fired. You probably feel differently. You're probably pretty fired up about the Mountain West move.
I certainly am. Yeah. Number one, man, that was something that was big when I first took the job. You could hear the rumblings of the fans and the donors wanted that, and I think it's
old rivalries getting renewed.
There it is, brother. There it is. I mean, like you've reignited all these old rivalries in the WAC, and people have asked me too, like, is this going to change your recruiting model? Now that you're playing in the Mountain West, and absolutely not. And the reason why is because we're going to be the only school in the state of Texas, in the Mountain West, and so like for me, like, and of course Wyoming, all those schools, they recruit Texas, no doubt. Everyone has a Texas recruiter, but now we're the only school that's in the league, that's in the state of Texas, that's going to recruit Texas. Yep. That's going to give us an advantage, in my opinion. And so we're so excited to go back there. Obviously, there's Gloria, the commissioner. She is a go-getter. I just give kudos to Jim Center, our president, for wanting to take that bold step in elevating UTEP.
Go for it.
Oh, sorry. I have. We talked about we're at the Texas High School Coaches Association convention, and so many great high school coaches are here. And you guys mentioned 42 Texas high school football kids that you guys have recruited. Yeah. So when you recruit those kids, you're watching game tape, you're talking to their high school coaches, and you're a product of Texas high school football. Yep. And I want to talk to you about your Texas high school football coach here in a little while. But just when you watch these Texas high school football coaches at work, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Yeah, I think it's unselfishness, because I've recruited a lot of states now in my career, and when you see the coaches in the state of Texas, they will do anything for their kids, and I think that's what separates. They'll go above and beyond. Coach, you need that extra, like, you want to see the throwing session you had yesterday? Let me get that to you, and they get to you in 20 minutes. And there's so many conversations happen like that in other states or other places I've been, and it's like you got to beg to get a coach maybe to help a kid or whatever, but our state's different, man. Our state wants to see kids succeed. It's a kid first deal, and that's the number one thing that comes to my mind when I think of Texas high school football coaches. They'll do anything for their kids to get recruited. I mean, I've been at camps, and I've sat there and been like, man, who is this kid? And I find out the high school, and then I call the coach right there on the field, and they answer my call in the middle of summer, June, and they're probably trying to have a little time with their family after summer workouts or whatever, and and they give you a great synopsis of the kids. So I think of unselfishness and putting their kids first.
When you take a look at this 2025 UTEP team, who's the guy that you're excited for us to see? Like, who's right now? Let's spill some secrets here. Who is the guy that people are going to be like, man, where'd that guy come from? And you're like, we can use this clip as an I told you so moment.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
Is there a guy?
No, there's a lot that come to my mind. I'm trying to narrow it in. Let me start out with and I don't want to go to his head or anything, but this kid has just been unbelievable in summer workouts, and he's a Texas high school football product. Just came in as a young man named Alan Gant from
Lubbock
Coronado.
Oh, yeah.
He only runs a 10-200 meter. I mean,
other than that,
he's still trying to get faster than me. We're working on. He's working on that.
I think
he'll get there one day.
I think when he ran state track meet, I think I may have DM'd you his time or something.
You did.
Coach, did you see
No, you
this?
did. Yeah. Oh yeah, we knew it. We knew it, bro. Yeah. And I'm telling you, that's a kid, and his mom is just an absolute sweetheart. We sat in that exit meeting, and he was committed to a Power 5 school at that point, and made a decision to flip and come to UTEP, and that was not a one of those, hey, you got dropped. None of that. This kid is a bona fide ball player. But let me tell you what I'm impressed with that kid is his maturity in playing the safety position, and we got him playing a couple other positions, and his maturity level is that of a second, third year player, and I'm really excited for him. I think he's a special young man and a special talent.
I remember Coach Mann, who's now at Texas A&M, when he was coaching, the head coach there at Coronado, told me when he was a sophomore, he's like, we got this kid, and he is going to be special. And seeing him run that 10-2, and we saw him the year before at the state 7-on-7 tournament, and he was balling out, and we were all the guys 24/7 were like, who is this kid
special?
from Lubbock?
Coach Mann was the first one to text me when he committed. He was like, it's a great kid. I was like, man, ain't no doubt he's special. Special kid. Yep.
We were talking about Texas high school football coaches, and a guy that I know very well, and a guy who coached you in high school, Phil Young.
Oh, man.
And he's a Cleburne guy and coached you. I remember, I'm old now because I remember watching Coach Walden play at the Rock there in Cleburne. Talk about Coach Young, and I mean, I know he's a great man, but I want, the impact that he had on your life, and you passed that on now to other kids, but just talk about Coach Young a little bit, what he means to you.
Special, hard to sum up in a few words, but it's been cool because he's actually come back out, and he traveled with us to Colorado State last year and was on the sideline with me and has come to practices, and he's still very involved in our program. But I grew up in a single parent home, man, and it was me and my mom, and man, I'll tell you, Coach Young was the first guy that I saw that was hard on me on the field, but showed me how to be a great Christian man off the field. Like he would let me come up on Sundays and watch tape, as the quarterback with the offensive staff and with him, and that's that what first started to get me excited about coaching. And I don't know, I haven't heard of many other coaches ever doing that, and so for him to open that door, because he knew I was hungry, I wanted to be great, I wanted to learn the game, and it's such a beautiful game and the little intricacies of it, and I was just fascinated with it, and he could tell that, and he bring me up on Sundays, and we talk about game plan and stuff. I remember those like the other day, man. It's just it was the best time. And then he bring me to his house, and when he bring me to his house, it started out like we're going to talk football, but really he knew what he was doing. He was bringing me over because he knew I wasn't growing up in a household that saw how a man interacts with his wife or how a man interacts with his kids. And he showed me that, and I literally in my junior year I was like, I want to be that guy. And my entire college career I was primed and ready to go back and coach Texas high school football for Coach Young. We had it all worked out. I'm coming back. I'm coaching for him, and I was blessed to get the opportunity at Sul Ross State University. And I fell in love with coaching the college game and recruiting and relationships. But I can't tell you how much Coach Young means to my family and I owe him a lot. He taught me a lot about the game, but he more importantly taught me about life. And I tell recruits that story every official visit because I want them to know my why and my staff's why we do this. Because we don't just do it just to, hey, let's just make money and keep winning and go. No, that's not why we do it. Like, that stuff's cool, whatever comes with it, but man, if we truly invest, just like we were talking about the Texas high school football coaches that are unselfish and they invest in young men's lives, we do that, the scoreboard takes care of itself.
There you go.
We've heard coaches talk about how like turning a team around is like turning a smaller boat, but then if you turn a culture around, it's like turning like a cargo ship, right?
Yeah.
Where do you feel like you are in that culture shift, in getting this culture at UTEP where you want it to be?
Man, I'll tell you, I think that's a phenomenal analogy at UTEP. I think that I look at the wins off the field that we're having. Everything to me, we have gotten this thing flipped culturally within our football program, and I think that's starting to permeate out to the athletic department and to the university. And you can start to see us spill over when we win. I tell people all the time, like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When we flip this thing around, it'll fully permeate to our university, and it's going to take off like wildfire. But to me, when you talk about that culture shift, I look at like we had a kid this year, this spring that got a lot of NIL money, whatever, he's making money, right? He's going against a walk-on every day in practice and decided, like, he came to my office, unsolicited, coach, I want to give some of my NIL money to pay for this kid's meals because this kid works his what off every single day of practice. When I see things like that, I'm like, man, we're getting it. Like, we're getting it. So I'm seeing all the wins off the field. A 3.2 team GPA with 115 guys. That's a new program record at UTEP. That's never happened before. We're winning those things. We in 3 semesters we have 888 hours of community service, serving our community, the great community of El Paso. We have a great culture in our locker room. I fully believe that. I see it every day, and now we got to get on the right side of that scoreboard, but those are the victories that got to occur first for us to have the victories on the scoreboard consistently. We don't want to be a flash in the pan, and so I see us making that turn, and now on the field we need to make that turn.
You're a high energy guy. I don't know if people can get if this comes across.
I chugged an Alani before I got on this. So I apologize, man.
No. But this is also like this is kind of baseline Scotty Walden.
Yeah,
too.
no doubt.
Love it.
And you're also a football junkie. Like you're just like look past the cool jacket and like the whole like suave demeanor, and this is just a football dork. Is basically what it is.
100%.
How do you relax? Like, how do you what do you do when you're away from football?
Man,
are you ever away from football?
And I'm not. I don't have many hobbies. I'm being real, man. Like I'm not trying to be like whatever. I don't have many hobbies. When I'm away from football, I'm with my family. That's the only thing I want to do. I'm not a golfer. I'm not a, whatever. I'm not a fisher. I ain't got the patience to fish. I can tell you that right now. I ain't got no patience to fish. So I'm either reading a book or I'm studying plays. I'm watching I saw the dudes at CoachTube just a minute ago. I'm like, dude, I bought so many videos on CoachTube, and I'm, high school. It's the most beautiful game in the world, and so it's always on my mind. I've learned over the years through my mentors, through some key pastors I've had in my life. Got to do a better job of turning that off. To be present with your family. It's hard, but there's not a day that goes by that you're not consumed with that. But I don't know what I do to relax. We like finding a good show every now and then or something. I'm a big wrestling fan. Maybe people think that's not relaxing. It's kind of relaxing to sit back and watch.
Dude, I went to All In.
Did you go to All In?
I was at All In Arlington. Shout out to Arlington Sports Commission. It was awesome,
brother. I wish I'd have gone. Hangman
Adam Page.
Adam Page beat John Moxley.
It was awesome.
I saw the highlights of that match,
dude. Like 3 minutes.
Unbelievable.
3 minutes, and they had like a fork.
The fork to the head.
Crazy. It's awesome.
I was losing my mind. And then to follow that up, Goldberg's last match just occurred.
I know, right?
My son and I sat and had a moment and watched that entrance. We weren't there, obviously, but we watched the entrance, and my son is like going around the house now chanting Goldberg.
Yeah,
Goldberg.
Heck yeah, dude.
Should have went out different. That's another story of another day. But
I got some booking questions basically with WWE. Anyway,
no doubt.
He's Scotty Walden. No he's an AEW mark, and he is also the head coach of the UTEP Miners. Coach, we so appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
We're really looking forward to what your Miners can do in 2025.
Hey, honored to be on. Thank you guys for having me. Picks up, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach. There he goes. Scotty Walden, Win the West, the head coach, UTEP Miners. I might put this on. This is a good hat.
Yeah, it's a nice hat.
This is a nice hat.
I got a shirt.
A lot of energy, good energy in the building with Scotty Walden.
Didn't think AEW talk will break out.
Hey, I love it.
Look, that's what we're
talking.
doing.
A little Hangman Adam Page winning the world
the
title.
The moment he said wrestling, I was like, oh my God, this is about to go down a rabbit hole.
It was great. Yeah. We are rolling here at the Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention.
Another big name guest.
We got big name guests rolling through. We have been live since 11. We haven't seen our families in years.
Hungry.
But
that's all right.
Another guy that I know is hungry for getting back on the football
field.
For
dubs.
Hungry for dubs.
Oh my God.
He's the head coach. The UTSA Roadrunners got home field advantage here in San Antonio.
Right. Home game.
It's our friend, former Gilmer head coach Jeff Traylor. That's how I just refer to you as former Gilmer head coach Jeff Traylor. I suppose you're doing other things too.
Yeah.
That's still a good thing. That's still a good thing.
Is it weird having a stadium named after you though? When you go home to Gilmer and you see that, is it weird seeing your name? You're like, man, this is crazy.
I talk to y'all so much, I never know what story. I don't want to become that guy that's here you go telling that story again.
That's our job to keep up with it.
Well, if I have, just give me the cut signal. Yeah. But when it happened, I was still in my early 40s, and my mom called and she said, there's a reason they only name stadiums after dead people. And I'm like, no, ma'am, I don't really know that. She's like, yeah, that's because men are stupid and they do a lot of dumb things. She said, this is the most proud I've ever been that my family's name will always be on that stadium. She said, now don't you go do something stupid and get the stadium unnamed after you. So there's nothing like your mom humbling you the moment that happened.
the ladies in my life tend to humble me quite. My mom, my wife, my daughters, it tends to humble you very quickly in life. So it's okay though. But also, you got an award last night. Congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Honor.
How cool is that? How that THSCA staff does that. I mean, that
I've
is.
been to that dinner, and it's a great.
Every year I go, it's just unbelievable. The attention to detail, how they make everybody feel so special, how they thought through it all. You don't have to give a speech. You know, I was so nervous when I saw y'all in Waco that I was going to forget one person's name. Even last night, hilarious story. Brad did a great job of talking about how wonderful his wife was, and then my first thought was, today's my 34th anniversary to Carrie.
Congratulations.
And I thought right there on this, because we did it so long ago, I didn't remember what I had said. And I hadn't mentioned my wife one time in my deal. And then the very last question was, they asked me who was the most important person in my career. And I was thinking, oh my God, if I say Matt Turner right now, and I don't say Carrie Traylor, I am so dead.
Yeah.
And when I saw my own lips say Carrie Traylor, I was like, thank the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
I would have been in real bad trouble today.
Because it's been quite a off season for you. Because the last time we saw you mentioned was in Waco when you're getting inducted in the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. You're just kind of rolling right now, and I have to admit, your speech at the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, that was as distilled Jeff Traylor as it gets. Boy, you were rolling when you got up there. That was electrifying, Coach.
Well, when you follow Patrick Mahomes and RG3, you better bring your stuff.
You better bring the heat, right?
And you got David Smoke going next. I mean, you better. And I had my daughter, who's my harshest critic on the front row. She wishes I was a cricket. So yeah, I was trying to do my best.
You're here at the Texas High School Coaches Association coaching school for the umpteenth consecutive year, it seems like. It's funny to me that like the THSCA does a great job bringing in the FBS coaches to do press conferences and stuff like that. It's important to them, to the panel that you do. But I also know that like even if they didn't do that, like you'd pay your way into this event. Like you'd buy your ticket.
You're with your guys.
Yeah, this feels like it's like when you go on a safari because you want to see a lion in its natural habitat. This is Jeff Traylor in his natural habitat. It feels like.
Well, tonight at Pinkerton's at 7:30.
Oh,
that social we do.
I'll be there.
I don't have to do that, right? I really love seeing, and it's crazy how many guys show up, and I think they authentically know that I really want to represent them in the very best way possible. And y'all know what a goofball I am and how I'm not perfect for sure. But my motives are pure, and there's just a connection there that I know they feel. We're going to practice tomorrow morning. We're inviting all of them. I bet you 300 will show up. We're taking the field at 8 o'clock. So if they
put those guys to work, get them to run some drills. Put those guys to work, Coach.
There's some of them that can do it better than me. I can promise you that.
Coach, I talk to high school coaches all the time, and you talk about being a head coach, and it's like the one thing that a high school coach, when he gets to become a head coach, says he misses is like, I don't get to coach as much football as I used to because I'm doing paperwork and that kind of thing. At the college level, I don't work in the college game, and so don't work with you guys as much. Is that something for you? Like, you know what? There's some days I wish I could just go out here and coach ball, but I got to do all these other things. Or do you get a chance every once in a while to run some drills and get out there and coach some ball?
Yeah, the Gilmer job was a perfect little deal for me to get a little bit of a warm-up for this deal. Both of them were very similar. They had unbelievable potential, which means it's everything that you're not.
Sure.
I mean, the Gilmer job just didn't start having talent when I showed up. They've always had talent. So at Gilmer, it was very much that. And I kind of learned. I fired myself from calling the plays in about 2006, somewhere after that. And I have kind of taken on more of a CEO role since 2007 on, and then I got to go be an assistant for 5 years again in college and kind of see how that world works. Still, Jess Lepp knows what I want on defense. There's a certain style. I like the odd front. I like moving it around. I like taking undersized players and playing a quicker version of defense. But I'm not going to go over there and tell Jess when to slant, when to twist. I might say when to bring pressure or when to drop, something that basic.
Sure.
Offensively, I'm still heavily involved in that. I'm in there every day, annoying the heck out of them. But think who's been in that room. Kurt Traylor's still in that room. We've been together since 1996. He's my brother, so we've been together since actually 1970. Matt Turner, been with him since 1993. Well, we're all in the room together still. And when I leave the room, Kurt and Matt know exactly how I want to look. And I've got a great staff. So it's very similar to what it was like at Gilmer on steroids. Now with NIL, transfer portal, media. Social media has probably changed the most. We used to worry about Smoky.com. And now we got a million.
Buddy, I still do.
Or the old coach. That's what we used to worry about. Now there's just
Twitter and all other
ton of that.
You've pulled off a pretty amazing magic trick where that almost nobody has been able to do in the modern era, which is a consistent group of 5 winner. With everything that in many ways like works against that happening, right? The transfer portal, NIL, like you guys participate in that as well, but also generally speaking, G5 teams tend to be the prey instead of the predators, right? And yet, this has been a program that has been as consistently excellent as it gets, essentially, in the group of 5. So, like, how'd you do that? Like, can you just kind of take it through give us all the secret sauce?
Yeah. Well, early, my relationships and my connections, we could offset. Now, the gap's just gotten so large. If they want my guys, they're going to take my guys. You can use your own common sense. If those guys are paying whatever number that might be, there's going to be my guys are probably getting a 7th or an 8th. So my top 8 players you're going to see next year, you know factually, I don't have to say it, you just know from being in the business, those guys stayed for a 7th of what they would have gotten somewhere else. So that day's come and gone. I used to really be upset if I lost one guy. Now I know we're going to lose 3 to 5 minimum every year. We just got to do a great job of recruiting high school players, kind of like your JV. Nobody knows about them. They're working in the background, and it's their turn to step up next year. And when you lose all 11 on defense like we just did, we better have a bunch of JV guys step up. And we did get some guys that say they went to a P4 and they were in the rotation, but they want to play. And they really loved us the first time. I do get some of those bounce backs, but the city of San Antonio is wonderful. We play in the Alamo Dome. We've been winning, and I've got a staff that's uniquely different. We've all been together so long. Like all of us have ridden through this thing together. Our players have hung in there together. So my guy, and we can give them enough money that they're doing good. We just can't make it generational money, which is what other guys are paying.
You mentioned the recruiting of the high school guys and the transfer portal and that kind of thing. And I've noticed just talking to high school coaches and talking to guys from 24/7 and those kind of things, that you guys are often, your evaluations of high school kids, you guys are often amongst the first to offer kids. And then later on, the big boys come back and offer. But when you get that bounce back, when a kid maybe is at a P4 school, you were the first one to offer him, and that kid remembers you were the first one to offer him. And then do you feel like that gives you guys a better chance when that kid is looking to maybe go somewhere where he can play a little bit more from a P4 school? Because I've noticed it a lot. You guys will offer, and then a week or two later, then the P4s start offering, because you guys, I think you guys, your coaches do a great job of evaluating.
You guys are the canary in the coal mine, basically.
There was a day where you could even hide that. I had so many connections in East Texas, and East Texas is an area that people, believe it or not, they don't like to go in there. It's not easy to fly into. The hotels might not be as nice as Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, but it was my stomping grounds. There used to be some kids I could sneak out of there. There's just no more of that, because the moment we offer, it's going to go all over social media, and now the rest of them are going to come in. And there was a day where we could knock off some of the schools up north because of their distance and the cold weather, and now the money's just so large, these guys don't care that it's cold and a long ways away anymore. And I don't blame them.
But those guys will often think about you guys, and maybe when they're coming back, I think you guys do a great job in the portal as well.
We have done well there. I mean, just a couple of names. Shad Banks from North Shore was at TCU, had a really good career. Just wants to play more, And Joe Price did a great job for North Shore as well. We got Shad in here at linebacker. That's just an example of a guy that we've known for a long time, relationship. We get him back. Owen McCowan, Colorado. To get him back the next time around.
A little East Texas action there.
Yeah, a little Rusk, Texas.
Rusk America.
And McEwen. I mean, I had McEwen's mother at Jacksonville Jacksonville in the 90s. So there's some of those relationships that you're glad you were really good to people back when you were young that have benefited from me as I've gotten a little older.
So let's get an overview here, because it is talking season about these UTSA Roadrunners. You mentioned there's going to be a lot of new faces. Do you have a feeling quite yet on where this team is going to hang its hat? I think one of the things that I think is remarkable about your teams is it does feel like you guys fit the scheme and the style to the personnel, which is a very 4A high school football thing to do. Where do you feel like you guys are going to hang your hat in 25?
Yeah, we got unlucky last year with the massive amount of serious injuries, which I think is going to be a benefit to us this year, because I believe those guys would have been stolen from us, and now they're all back now. So that's going to help us. Offensively, we got everybody back. We lost Oscar Cardenas to the Arizona Cardinals, but Oscar got hurt early in the year on a touchdown versus Tulsa. So we kind of learned to play without Oscar. So those 3 tight ends that are great. I think our tight end room is as good as anybody in the country. McEwen's back at receiver. Amador's back at receiver. We've got Willie McCoy back at receiver. We've got Owen McCallum back at quarterback. Robert Henry, our leading rusher, is back at tailback. And we've got a ton of young guys and some guys we brought in we feel good about. So I think offense will be where we're really good. Defensively, we lost all 11. We don't have one starter back. There's no embellishment, no coach talk, no nothing. That is a straight fact. No starters are back on defense. But Jess Lepp, it's our 6th year together. He's always put a defensive unit out there. We play very reckless. We play very wild at times, but we know our kids will buy in. We lost our kicker late in spring ball. So we've got to get that fixed, and our punter's back. So I think it'll be like some of our Gilmer teams probably early. We might score a lot and have to score a little more until Jess can kind of get his guys grown up.
And finally, we can get to what you really wanted to come on and talk about. District 7 4A Division 2. Gilmer is in that mix. Pleasant Grove looks good. This is a reloading Gilmer team. You got to watch out for Van, for Spring. I'm curious, when you take a look at 7 4A Division 2, how are we feeling about our Buckeyes?
Yeah, I think Josh has got a very good team at Pleasant Grove. Speaking of Coach Gibson, I'm sorry. And then Alan Metzel, obviously, at Gilmer. They'll be good. I would say Pleasant Grove's going to be picked ahead of them. Van has always
Coach
played.
Waffet does a great job.
Jared is as good as anybody. He gave me fits when I was there. And we beat them, but it was always you guys saying, oh, it was a close game. Yeah, those guys do a heck of a job coaching.
Van went to the regional final. Like, people don't realize, I think they were in the regional final against Carthage last year.
He does a wonderful job, so I would never, ever sleep on Van. But Gilmer, I think their lower levels are really, really good. Allen might be a year away, but they'll be in there somewhere.
Yeah, I've just long thought that, like, if you feel like, this coaching thing, I feel like I've run its course. We could probably, our chief content officer's over there. She could probably greenlight the hire of Jeff Traylor as a high school football insider.
High school football, take my job as an insider.
No, you guys could travel together. It could be fun.
We'll road trip together and get some good food, Coach. What do you think?
I think we'd be a smashing.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I love it.
Here, the funny thing is, I know he'd take that job too.
Yeah. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
He's Jeff Traylor. He's the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners. Coach, thanks for letting us hang out in your city. I'll see you tonight at Pinkerton's.
Yeah, we'll be at Pinkerton tonight.
Y'all are the best. Big fans for a long time. You've always done it right, and I appreciate both of you very much. I hope you know that.
Thanks Coach. We really appreciate you.
Thank y'all. God bless.
Thanks. There he goes. Jeff Traylor, head coach, the UTSA Roadrunners, hopping on here.
We're in that San Antonio tuxedo.
Thanks,
looking sharp.
Looking good. It's got the
Can't wait to go to Pinkerton's tonight.
Yeah, got the 210 on the back of the hat. It's a star-studded cast here at the Texas High School Coach Association Coaching School and Convention. And yeah, I mean that sincerely. He would 100% work.
Oh yeah, me and Coach Traylor on the road. Like, come on,
that'd be like a buddy cop.
Oh gosh, it'd be the best
stuff like that. It would be a lot of fun.
Now it's time for the real star.
We are here at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention in San Antonio. Here, going live. We've been going live for about 2.5 hours now. By the way, tomorrow Same bat time, same bat channel, 11 a.m.
You can't get rid of us.
We're just doing it again.
We're just running it back.
With even more big-name guests.
Yeah.
But speaking of big-name guests, let's go to the hot seat. We're pleased to be joined by a man who's helping to make this happen, but he makes a lot of things happen.
He's a mover. He's a mover and shaker. He's snapping necks and cashing checks.
It's our friend Matt Wilson from the Arlington Sports Commission.
Hello, gents.
Matthew, it's good to see you.
Oh, he called you Matthew. You're in trouble.
People that love me.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Well, we
exactly
love you. We
right.
do love you. We do love you.
I can promise you my mom's watching right now. She calls me Matthew.
Did you see, I don't know if you heard, but Scotty Walden was talking about how envious he was that I got to go to All In at Globe Life Field. That's the last time I saw you.
It was a heck of a show.
It was a lot of fun.
Was it a record-setting crowd for them?
Record-setting crowd for AEW. You know, really, like, they're not really widespread, but the depth of AEW and their fans, those are true wrestling fans. Those are people who care deeply about wrestling.
And it is another of just what feels like a million different events that are going on in Arlington. You of course have the Dallas Cowboys. You of course have the Texas Rangers.
Of course.
You of course have the UIL State Football Championships. You got the World Cup coming up. You got a million things going on. I do want to focus, because we are here at THSCA, on the state championships.
Yep.
This is an event that I know, in talking with you privately and in confidence, you have told me that this is an event that you want to make sure you treat the same way that you guys treat all these other, like the World Cup, these huge international events. And I think that shines through in the way that it goes about.
We view it very much like we see any of our major events. We treat it like a major event. We always talk about that we crown champions in Arlington, Texas. So whether you're talking about a Super Bowl or WrestleMania or whatever, there's the experience in Arlington and at AT&T Stadium specifically for this event is second to none. You know, the experience for not only the players and the coaches, but for the band, for the cheerleaders, for the fans, all the people that come to it, we're making memories. You know, people will never forget whenever, you know, their team played in AT&T Stadium. Everybody calls it Jerry World. They'll never forget it for the rest of their lives. So why not make it the best experience we can make it?
It's one of those things. One of my favorite things about going to the UIL State Football Championships at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, is when the band and the drill team, when they walk into the stadium, and they've all got their cell phones out,
especially like 3A teams.
Oh, it's the best, because they are so genuinely happy to be there, and they're just taking it all in. And that first moment walking into the stadium, I guarantee you, those students that memory will be burned into their head for the rest of their lives.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about in Arlington.
Yeah, it really is. So, you know, to your point, whenever we see people come in, the power of the blue star, everybody wants to take a picture on top of the blue star. Everybody. People, we forget about this. There are people that come in every day, thousands of people every day, to come in and take a tour of the stadium. So they can take a picture and send it, you know, put it on Instagram, put it on their TikTok or whatever, you know, whatever these MySpace, is that still trending?
Yes, I still have my MySpace, I think.
No, it's such a fun experience. Last year, Whiteface High School was in the state championship game, and it didn't go the way they wanted it to go. But my mom taught at Whiteface High School, and I know what the impact on that community. I know how special it is for a small town like that. And even these 6A schools, whenever they come in, not everybody gets to go to that, you know, to go to that stadium. So it's a special event anytime anybody can go in there.
I do want to ask you about the World Cup. It's big doings. I mean, it's the biggest event in the world, basically.
It's the world's biggest event. And Arlington will have more games than any other city in the World Cup.
9 matches.
9 matches.
Yeah.
And I imagine that for you guys, that's a great honor. And also, probably got to get to work.
Yeah. You know, this thing has been going on for probably, I think I've been working on it for 8 years. 8 years, you know, for something that's going to last about 30 days. So June 14th of next year through July 17th, somewhere around in there, to have 9 matches is just an incredible thing. And we tell people this, and I don't think that everyone understands that. I know you guys do. It's like hosting 9 Super Bowls plus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that big of a deal. The engagement in the 2022 World Cup, 5 billion engagements, whether people watching on TV, streaming it, Instagram posts, whatever it may be. Now, let me give you just some context, because we throw around numbers like 5 billion all the time, right?
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your mind around that number.
To give you an idea of how big 5 billion is, 5 billion seconds ago was 158 years ago.
Wow.
Think about that for a second.
That's
5 billion seconds ago was 158 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how big it is. So when you're talking about major events and major things going on, it doesn't get any bigger than the World Cup. It really doesn't.
And there's a lot going on in Arlington. For folks that would come to Arlington for events. So many great places to eat. I know me and you have dined at several of Arlington's best establishments. A lot of great a lot of quality hotels to stay in. There is more to Arlington. Arlington's a great place to visit for sports.
Sure.
There's a lot going on in the city in general, isn't there?
It does feel like I don't know. It feels like Arlington in the past 20 years. Because look, my folks, we've been Rangers season ticket holders since the day after they signed Nolan Ryan. Okay,
right.
It's a long time. Been going to Arlington a lot. It does feel like the city's grown up.
It has.
Yeah.
We've been very purposeful about it. And to your point, to both of you, I grew up in West Texas, and so you always said,
Shout out Levelland.
Shout out Levelland, Texas, baby, the Levelland Lobos. Our vacation a lot of times was coming to Arlington, and you went to Six Flags, you went to a Rangers game, and you went to Wet and Wild. It's now Hurricane Harbor.
Wet and Wild, VNA.
And then you'd go back with
Shout
a
out
second-degree sunburn, and that's how you knew you did it right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Arlington is still the place that you can go as a family and have just an incredible time. There's new things to do. To your point, we have new hotels, we have new restaurants. The National Medal of Honor just opened up there. So there's some really cool things for people to do and see.
Yes, a lot of good. Texan Live is awesome. You can go to the state championships. Go to Texan Live after
Texas
the game.
Live.
Texas Live, yeah.
Texan Live is our great streaming platform.
Sorry, Matt. Sorry,
I got to shout out Prince Lebanese Grill, though.
Yes.
Limited.
So
big
good.
favorite around the Dave Campbell staff.
So
is
good.
Now, if we were to get Matt Wilson's top 10 Arlington restaurant rankings, would Prince Lebanese be number one?
Yeah, I think Prince is number one. Hurtado Barbecue is a really close second.
You put a Texas Twinkie in front of me, and it's going to disappear quickly.
Man, you got to get there early. You got to get there early, or they're gone.
So we're going to give you an opportunity to give us a preview, your take on your two favorite football teams. Okay, we'll start with the Texas Tech Red Raiders. You're a proud Red Raider. How are we feeling heading into 2025? We're going to have Joey McGuire sitting in that chair tomorrow.
You can be over here heckling him when he's over here?
No. I don't want to get crossways with Joey.
No, not with the mayor. How are we feeling about our Red Raiders in 25?
It almost feels like we're living in an alternate universe. Because for years, Tech went after big name athletes, big name recruits, and if you got a couple of them, that was a big win for us.
Sure.
To feel like you're at the table for every single major recruit that they want. What Cody Campbell has interjected into the athletic department and the university as a whole, and it's not just money. Just been an incredible leader, and I know that he's now a regent for the university, but Texas Tech is in an alternate universe at times because we're in on everybody. And now we make people nervous.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the big boys start getting nervous whenever Joey and his team come around. And I will say it's not just because of the money, it's because Texas Tech is deserving of that recognition. Because that university is that awesome. Sometimes it just takes people to open their eyes a little bit to see it.
Awesome. And finally, let's talk about the real team closest to your heart, the Levelland Lobos.
Yeah, and I'm prepared for this.
Okay.
Have you seen Lyle? Have you seen Coach Leong?
I have not. We texted earlier, but I'm ready for whatever you're about to ask me.
I'm just asking, how are we feeling about the Lobo? We have them 4th in District 2 4A Division 2.
Thank you for saying it, so I didn't have to.
Yes. I know you have. You've got some. Let's embrace debate here. Okay. So why are we wrong?
Well, I think that Lyle in this year has these guys ready to go.
Sure.
A lot of my former teammates have kids on this team now. That's how old I am.
Okay.
They might have a couple of grandkids out there too. I don't know. But started to see some things late last year that I was really encouraged by. I think the world of Lyle and his staff. I think we might surprise a few people this year.
Lyle tells me he's still got a couple of good routes in him. You are a former college football player and former former athlete. Do you have a couple of reps in you on the line?
I'm good for one series as long as they don't call any screens.
Okay.
If you ask me to get out on the perimeter, if you're asking me to arc to force, please don't.
Okay. All right.
I'm in for one series. And hopefully it's a goal line series, so that way I can just crush a one technique and then.
But we could pull you around like a GT.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you'll see me stumble with a torn hamstring.
That's fine.
Or something. But
That's fine. That's what we're here for.
I'm gonna get if Lyle asked me to do it, and I thought I could get away with it, I'd do it.
Okay. Oh, the UIL's here. We could swing this.
Yeah. I'm sure I could get a waiver.
Yeah, like leveling Borger, like fourth quarter.
It's garbage time.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly right.
Put Wilson in.
I'll shave my beard now. I'll have that baby face. I'll be ready to go.
He's Matt Wilson of the Arlington Sports Commission.
Can't wait to get to Arlington in December for the state championship.
Me neither.
Can't wait.
I'm excited. My wife is always, she's like, you're in a hotel in Arlington, right? I'm like,
it's family reunion time. I mean, that is the greatest gathering of people. Besides this, great gathering of people.
And by the way, thanks to the Arlington Sports Commission for helping to make this show possible.
Yes,
we appreciate the title sponsor of this show.
What you guys do is very important, and I mean that in all sincerity. When we're talking about something that's so near and dear to everyone's hearts, Texas high school football, the work that you guys do each and every day, we thank you for it. It's important work, and I know people watching out there would all agree.
We appreciate that. You don't mean that, and that's nice of you to say. It's Matt Wilson with the Arlington Sports Commission. Thanks, dude.
Good to see you guys.
Thanks for hopping on.
Following up Jeff Traylor. He did a great
exactly
job.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah, Jeff Traylor.
Scotty Walden and Jeff Traylor.
And then who's that guy?
Thanks, dude. Appreciate you. There he goes, Matt Wilson with the Arlington Sports Commission, helping to make this show possible. We so appreciate his time.
We couldn't do this without.
We couldn't do it without the support of the Arlington Sports Commission. We appreciate them hopping on. Remember, football season starts here at the THSCA Coaching School in San Antonio, and it ends up the road on 35 in Arlington.
AT&T Stadium.
Go to 35 and 30.
Agtown, Swagtown.
Right.
Mallory Hartley would be very mad if I didn't say that.
We're about to talk to a guy who hopes to end his season at AT&T Stadium if at all possible.
Absolutely right. Let's talk with the head coach at Prosper Walnut Grove. It's our friend Tommy Allison. Coach, it's good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you guys. I get to put a nail in this thing today for you guys.
Listen, we're going to stick the landing here.
We saved the best for last.
Let's go.
Because we got a lot of good things to say about this program. I mean, Coach, you know that what you did last year at Walnut Grove, you're not supposed to be that good, right? Like, you know that you're doing it wrong, right? You're supposed to go like 1-9 in your first season.
The funniest thing is, last year, right here, Coach Allison came up to me and he said, hey, we're going to be pretty good this year.
Yes.
I'm telling you now. You guys got it wrong in the magazine. We're going to be really good. And you hear that all the time. Coaches are like, okay, Coach, all right, yeah. Coach, you were right. Yeah. I was at your second round playoff game last year. Great ball game in Abilene against a really good Lubbock Cooper team. And I thought your football team kind of came of age going on the road, long road trip, first time in the program. You're really, as a varsity. I know when you played your outlaw schedule, you traveled a little bit, but you're on the road in a playoff game against a really good established program in Lubbock Cooper. Had some adversity, got down early, and you guys pulled it out. I feel like that was the coming of age moment for your program in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we got a bunch of great kids. Let me start with that. Prosper ISD is different. I've done this a long time, done 30 years, and there's nothing like Prosper ISD. And when you have great kids and great coaches, great men, man, that was a lot of fun. And
it was a good ball game, a lot of fun.
It was. I
don't know how stressful it was for you, but it was great for me in the press box. I was like, this is an awesome football game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I tell you that we had that outlaw year the year before, and I think we had 8 road games, and we traveled to San Antonio, Lubbock, all over the place. And I think that really helped us build to where we are now. And we got lucky. I mean, we won some games by less than 5, and our kids just found a way. And so it was a lot of fun.
This is a program that went through one of the toughest districts and was able to come out the other side. And yet, I would imagine that you would say, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, let me just ask you, did that path, going through an absolute gauntlet in that district, did that prepare you for when, it's win or go home time? They're either late in the season or then in the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We knew when the district came out, we knew that every game for us was going to be big. And so, when you play the Lovejoy, the Melissas, the Emerson, the Anna, and it's week to week to week, it definitely gets you ready because you're playing the best there is. I think our region is as good as any of them. I mean, they say that every
Sure.
school's going to say that my district's the best and this region's the best, but it was really good.
Region 1,
it was really good.
People often say, hey, Region 1 and Region 4 are kind of the weaker regions, and 2 and 3 is really where the strength is. I think in 5A Division 2, Region 1 is as
it's
good.
Legit.
I mean, the district right next, your first round playoff game is really tough, and then you're going out west, and those teams in District 2 especially, Wichita Falls Memorial, Lubbock Cooper, Abilene Wiley, Abilene Cooper, those good football teams across the board. It's a gauntlet to just get out of the region.
It is. Well, that's the thing when you play a district like we do. And I've been in all kinds of districts when you've done it this long, but you play some really bad ones and you play some good ones. But it's a good one and it's fun. I guess as you get older, you used to wait for alignment day and it comes out and you're looking for all these schools. I can beat them. But it's fun to actually every week you got to get ready and you got to go play.
There's so many good coaches and good football teams.
My gosh, it's as good as it. That I've never been in North Texas. I haven't been part of Dallas, and so when you get up there, it's different. That place is different. You got dudes that can coach. You got dudes that can play. It's fun.
Yeah.
Now, you bring to Prosper ISD a pretty remarkable resume, including state championship there at Cayuga. That was 1A ball, right?
It's 2A now.
2A
Come on now. Let's get it right.
It was 1A ball then.
There you go. Okay.
Trail and Shed.
Yeah.
Trail and Shed. You're now coaching, 5A ball.
Yeah.
How is coaching, or and it just you roll the ball out? It's 11 guys on each team, or is there from your perspective those differences of playing high level, small school football and high level big school football?
Yeah. Well, number one, coaching is coaching. There's some awesome 1A and 2A coaches out there. There's awesome 3A coaches. It doesn't matter what level. I mean, state of Texas, you got great coaches. The major difference that I see is at the smaller classifications, really good players can take you further than it can at the as you get at the bigger classifications of 4A, 5A, 6A, whatever the case may be, one or two players that are really, really good by themselves aren't going to get it done. If you got a Traylon Shedd and a Malcolm Kennedy, and you got Malcolm's cousin there and Traylon's twin brother there, Traymon, and you're going to have a chance. But as you get older, if you just got 2 or 3 of those, you got no chance. You better play really good team football, and you better prepare the right way. And the off season is important, and all those little details, which it's important at the smaller classification as well. And I'm so proud of those days. Most fun I ever had was probably with those guys. And Traylon 2 weeks ago calls me, just Coach, how you doing? So at the end of the day, coaching is about relationships. You build them at the 1A, 2A, 6A. It doesn't matter. It's about loving kids, pouring into kids, and they'll pour back in your program, and you'll find success.
I think the difference is really just the number of kids you have, and then I guess how you structure practice.
That's right.
At Cayuga, you got guys playing both sides of the ball. You're not going 11 on 11, good on good late in the year because you've only got 25 guys on the team. Where at Walnut Grove, you've got a lot more numbers. And your practice structure probably is a lot different.
It's funny. I just had a conversation with Coach Shelton, who was on our staff 2 years ago. That's now at Farwell, and so he was asking me, he's a first-year head coach, and he said, "So back when you were at Cayuga, how did you practice? You're having those conversations, but it's a different world, and that may change day to day, week to week, because you don't have the same. You may be practicing half line, or whatever it takes."
Go ahead.
No,
I was going to ask. Year 2. Now year 2 program. UIL varsity program. You have that target on your back. How comforting is it when you have that target on your back? When you have a guy like Cam Newton that you can hand the football to, so productive, and then you have your sophomore quarterback Haynes Hackney.
Speaking of guys who aren't or doing things they're not supposed to be doing.
That's got to be. You've got some build. I know you lose a really good senior class, but you've got those 2 building blocks on your offense.
Yeah, it makes you feel a lot better, doesn't it? Because like you said, Cam Newton is a stud, and boy, there's a college. Colleges are sleeping on this kid. I I'm just telling you.
He's as productive a running back as there is.
He's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, we played that gauntlet. He rushed for over 2,000. That's pretty impressive. And then you put a quarterback like Hayes out there that is, how many freshman quarterbacks throw 40 touchdowns? How many go through?
It's not supposed to happen.
No. They go through the district, and he's MVP of the district. And so that kid's special. I mean, and we got so many other kids around him, but it does make you feel better. I will say that, knowing you got those kids. And it's not just about them. We're probably going to carry varsity about 70 next year, and it's about all those kids who work so hard and love each other and do it the right way.
You were also, you might be the only coach in Texas high school football history, check me on this, to coach like two of the greatest running backs in Texas high school football history.
I would agree with
because
that.
You, Traylon Shedd, Mr. Texas football, an iconic player in Texas high school football history. And then, when you were at Palestine, you coached Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
So, like... I don't have questions.
All coaching, right? All coaching, right?
I don't have a question.
Yeah.
That's just cool.
Yeah. That just, I think it was all me in the first place. I mean, here's the deal. Traylon set the touchdown record, I think, which it's been broke since, but he's fantastic. And, of course, Adrian, the funny thing about Adrian, I wish I knew what I was doing. I was the first year that I ever got to call plays, Adrian was going to be a senior, and I was the OC there, and I remember I wanted to, I'm this spread, all the,
You want to sling it around,
Yeah. So it's a true story. I'll tell you a true story. So it's the first year I've ever really truly called plays. I'm the OC. Jeff Harrell's the head coach, and he's given me the range. You go do it. And so we're playing White House. Of course, I'm nervous. They kick off to us. It's Adrian right, and he goes for about 25. It's Adrian left. He goes for 25, and up the middle, and we get down to about the 8-yard line. It's first and goal, and I'm like, dude, I'm a play caller.
Let's dial it up.
Yeah,
dial it up, coach.
So we fake it to Adrian, drop back, and we get sacked. And then something else happens. We throw it, and we get sacked. And the head coach walks over and says, "If you want to call another play for me, you better give it to 28." So we hand it to 28, and he runs for touchdown. And so the rest of the year, I was a good play caller. It was right and left, and that was it. And so he was special.
Yeah, I can't imagine coaching. Because I was at Trinity Valley at the time, and Palestine's right down the road from Athens, and we hearing about Adrian Peterson, and you would you'd get this is before Huddle or YouTube or anything, so you'd watch the TV station in Tyler, the Friday night highlights, and you just saw this grown man running the football who was bigger than everybody else on Palestine's team, and it's like, I don't want to tackle that guy at all.
He was a freak. You should have seen him practice. So we couldn't even really practice him because he was so good that we just, and like I said, if I had a clue what I was doing, we probably wouldn't have lost in the first round. I mean, we got beat in the first round, and he ends up going and he gets beat. He makes like National Player of the Year, and that comes out. And my mom, so mom and dad live in Palestine as well. And after church one Sunday, she heard that, and she came to me and goes, "Son," and I'm like, "Yeah, Mom." She goes, "You're telling me you had the best player in the country and you got beat in the first round?" So it's like
humbling, huh?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to my world.
Moms will do that on you.
We talked about your offensive guys, and I think your defense, your linebackers. I'm excited to watch them play. Pittenger had a great year last year, and then you get Hatcher back, who missed a lot of. Did you miss all of last year?
The whole season,
How excited are you about your linebackers, and do you feel like your defense, the core and the heartbeat of your defense is going to be those linebackers?
Yeah, I think the game changer, I think the biggest move we're going to make, I still think offensively we'll still have an opportunity to be really, really good. I mean, you've said two names that are special, and I think our offensive line is going to be incredible. So I think offensively we got a chance to be really good, but I think the biggest change for us, the biggest, first advances program is going to be because defensively, Coach Leonard in our program, we went that outlaw year that doesn't really matter, but we gave up 50 a game. Last year I think it was 29, and I'd be very disappointed if we don't cut that in half again. I think they're going to be that good. The Hatcher kid, Pittenger are great. We started a freshman at nose guard every game in Chris Williams, who's a stud.
You started a freshman at quarterback and a freshman at nose guard.
The whole game. They started every season.
And you went 11-2. That's incredible.
And probably got lucky several of the games, but defensively we're going to be really good. Those backers are good. I'm excited about defense, and I usually don't say that. Usually it's like forget defense, forget special teams, forget defense. Let's go score points, smash the gash. That's sort of who we are, but I'm excited because they're going to be aggressive. They're going to be physical. We got a great defensive staff and great defense kids. It's going to be fun, and those two kids are going to lead it. Those two backers are going to be our leaders.
Yeah, we've got high hopes for you. We think this has an opportunity to be special. And yeah, I mean, for those, like, to make sure we put a fine point on it, because I think I might have talked over it. Hayes Hackney threw for 40 touchdowns as a freshman last year.
It's not bad.
That seems good. Like, I don't know what it is with you and just being a great coach that you get, you know, all these guys that are that are putting up these crazy numbers.
Yeah, no, I think I'm truly blessed. God's been good to me, and just to be in positions in like the position at Walnut Grove. Come on, man. And I mean, that's wow. It's a dream come true. You know, it's a destination job, and I'm just truly blessed.
He's Tommy Allison. He's the head coach at Prosper Walnut Grove. Coach, we so appreciate your time.
You, Coach.
Congratulations again on all your success, and we are very much looking forward to seeing what you do in 2025.
So listen, real quick before I go, you two guys are the best. I mean that.
Thank you.
Is it awesome? You know, this guy. Even my wife found out you're going to get to talk to those guys alive. What? Come on, let's go. And so it's pretty cool, man.
We'll say this: we're okay. The best is really Pickle over there.
There you go. Keeps the thing running. Let's go.
Listen, we could not do this without Pickle and VNA. Those ladies do a great job.
I'm glad that
they make us look good.
I'm glad that your wife thinks it's cool. She gets to talk. You get to talk to us because our wives don't.
Our wives do not think this is cool.
Absolutely not. Tommy Allison,
awesome.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks,
there
guys.
he goes. Tommy Allison, head coach, Prosper Walnut Grove. Really excited to see what Hayes Hackney does in his sophomore season. That was, you want to talk about like one of the breakout stars.
Oh yeah, breakout star 2024
in 2025.
For sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so
are you two done yapping yet?
I think we are done.
We went over 3 hours.
3 hours and 15 minutes.
Well, I think we told Brooke that we could do it, and I think we've proven that we can yap
she
quite
said,
a bit.
"Can y'all yap for 3 hours?" I just laughed.
Guess what? Guess what? We're gonna do it again tomorrow. Do we have a graphic? I don't know. I'm putting our producer who's
on the spot.
Yeah. Tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Boom.
Come and join us. Big name guests. Off the rip.
Yeah.
Off the rip.
Out of the box.
Ray Gates from North Crowley is going to join us.
State champion.
We got Riley Dodge joining us at 11:45.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the new head coach of the Rice Owls, Scott Abel, is going to join us at 12:15. The mayor of Lubbock, Joey McGuire, is going to join us at 12:30 tomorrow. We got Jeremy Hickman, the new coach at Cy Woods, hopping on with us.
You want to talk about a guy who brings the juice.
He's going to bring the juice.
Brings the juice.
We've also got closing out. This is late breaking. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we'll be joined. We'll have the annual State of the Vipers addressed.
Another state champion.
With another state champion and Vandegrift coach.
Who's that
Drew
guy?
Sanders.
Drew Sanders.
Jeez, I'm sorry.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
We're hungry.
Folks, we so appreciate you spending part of your day with us, and by part of it, I mean most of your day with us here. And again, a big thanks to the Arlington Sports Commission to helping to make this possible.
To Arlington Sports Commission and Matt Wilson.
And huge deals, huge events going on there in Arlington. But guess what? If you thought this 3-hour extravaganza was fun, we're going to do it again tomorrow. We're going to run it back tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big name guests tomorrow. We hope you'll join us at 11 a.m. sharp. We will get on the air if we all wake up tomorrow. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks to Jason Sims, Don Hyde, Rick LaFavers, Larry Hill, Wade Griffin, Travis Bush, Eli Reinhardt, Joe Huard, Omasha Brantley, Scotty Walden, Jeff Traylor, Matt Wilson, and Tommy Allison for being our guests. For Ashley Pickle and Matt Stepp, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. More from THSCA Coaching School and Convention on Texas Football Today. Bye.